You know what I mean? What's going on?
Oh man, shoot, just trying to get it popping.
All right, Bob, you on?
Well, what's going on, folks? Welcome to another Saturday of the Sports Wine and Brew. You know, as we do it, it's from a fan's perspective. We're gonna give you the real on how we feeling about it. You know, we ain't here to upset nobody. We're here to debate, and just give it the real. So, as usual, we got our cast of folks that we do this on a regular basis on Saturday. We got Troy in the house. We got Gooch Dog, and we got SportzKelz. So I'm hoping old Cyber Dog will be getting on here shortly. So he might be in transition coming from work. So hopefully he'll join us here in a few. So how's everybody clicking on Big Saturday in sports?
Man, good. Oh, thanks for asking, brother. You know what I mean? The weather a little chilly for a March morning. I mean, heck, it's late, but a lot of action in sports right now, man. So I can't wait to see what we get into today.
Yeah, it's a little nippy out there. I was running around this morning, so hopefully it'll warm up soon, so brother can get out there and go swing them clubs.
I've been down to Olentangy and the Circleville and back home already.
Well, you doing the morning running?
Sure, up early.
What's going on?
Early.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just get rolling, fellas. Let's see what we got here on the list for today. So what's up first to back? Because I ain't got it in front of me at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So we might as well get on the meat on the bone. Let's just start on that men's bracket and see how everybody fare. And is everybody didn't rip their sheets up, or is somebody holding on to their sheet while they sleep at night?
So right.
What, man? My bracket done. My bracket done. I mean, who would ever thought, man? I'm hoping we can get into a really deep conversation on why stuff happened this season, why the NCAA tournament isn't as predictable as it has been in the past years. You know what I mean? Who would ever thought, man? St. Peter's, never heard of them. You know what I mean? With Bruss, everybody bracket up, including mine, because I had Purdue going to the championship. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked at that Purdue game because I'm more than sure they had a good height advantage down in that post and didn't utilize it. If you got a 7-footer, and I think they had maybe two big boys, maybe 6'9", 6'10", and you can't take advantage of that, there's just some poor coaching, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, Purdue had their chances, though. So they had plenty of chances to win that game, man. St. Peter's wanted it more.
Yeah, I mean, they seem like they're a scrappy team, but like I said, that height advantage, man, you just got to clear that out and just lob it into your big man every trip. There's no way.
I tell y'all this, man. I'm watching the game, and my wife like that big dude. He should be dominating. The problem was, man, you can be tall for nothing. You know what I mean? And he's tall, but not very athletic. He doesn't move well. You know what I mean? If he gets close enough to the basket, he can make an impact. But anywhere outside that basket, if he ain't close, man, he didn't have any moves to get close and make an impact.
Man, he's 7'4", 300 pounds, so he's not that agile. So he's just a body to clog up that center for now, get rebounds.
Yeah, but Troy, if you think about it, man, that just shows you how great Shaq was.
Yep.
Think about it. You just gave Shaq's dimensions, 7'4", 300. Shaq taking the ball down the court sometimes like a point guard.
Yeah.
You get the same dimensions. This cat can't move, man. So it was disappointing to see my bracket get busted. I expected more out of them cats, but hey, man, old dude got them cats playing ball.
Yeah, they're playing with a lot of flame, and they got a lot of flame in them. So, yeah, I was real disappointed in that as well. I mean, my thing is with that Purdue, I would have spread the floor out and just had that dude run straight to the block and fired it in the paint every trip. Because we'd have just lived on the free throw line. There's no excuses in that. We'd have just had to blow up our offensive set. If we, was having that much of a problem, guarding them dudes or whatever the case may be, making baskets, I'd have just spread the court and just sent him straight to the block, and I'd have just been winging it in to him, closest to bucket as I could get to him. But, that's why I'm sitting here, and I guess they sitting on the sidelines because I just don't understand.
I knew Gonzaga was going to lose. They should. They was in trouble their first game. The team I'm most impressed with is Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Houston is who I'm impressed with, how scrappy they are. They get it. They get at it.
Yeah.
they get at it.
Yeah,
North Carolina, I'm impressed with them too. That's my team, but I didn't expect them to go this far. I didn't pick them to go this far, and I'm impressed right now. They playing with house money right now. So it's St. Peter.
Yeah, well, that Houston squad, man, they kind of remind me of a veteran Michigan State team. That's what that Houston squad looked to me. They got some big bodies in the post, and they play physical, and they got good perimeter guard play. So I think they're gonna slide into the finals. Against who right now I couldn't tell you, because the way they penciling it, they talking about it's gonna be the third round for North Carolina and the Blue Devils going into that final 8.
Arkansas played Duke, right?
Yeah, Arkansas plays Duke.
I think Duke gonna lose Arkansas. I got Duke losing.
Well, that's what the commentary people are calling for. They want to see that Duke Carolina matchup again.
Yeah,
but I would like to see Duke get bumped off.
Yeah, Arkansas gonna beat them.
Hey, Duke,
take it to the bank.
I underestimated Duke. I did, and Duke is always they play really good structured team basketball. They always have like one dude who's outstanding. And the way Coach K got them playing right now, they're gonna be hard. They're gonna be a tough out. Now I'll admit I didn't put them in my bracket. I took them out. I had them getting dumped off in the Sweet 16.
Me too.
Yeah,
I didn't have them make it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I didn't have Carolina make it to the second round.
I didn't either. But Duke playing off emotion right now, so they're gonna do whatever they can to keep that coach's pulse alive. So it's gonna be a drive. Whoever they playing for Arkansas, that's gonna be a nail biter.
Hey, so are y'all giving North Carolina a shot? We got 2 historic teams left.
Who they got next game?
They got St. Peter's.
Well, once again, if you're not using your height to your advantage, then it might be a problem.
Carolina got the height. Carolina got the big dudes. St. Peter's just scrappy. So
you got to get them. You got to protect it to your advantage. Get them in foul trouble.
Right.
Carolina could beat them. It's not a problem for them to beat them. They just got to know if they're going to want it hard enough. They just got to want it. St. Peter's, they come on the court.
St. Peter's want it.
They want it.
They want it.
They want it. They feel like they underdogs. They feel like they ain't nobody. Like Goose said, I ain't never heard of St. Peter's.
And I ain't never heard. I want to name that little dude El Mustachio. El Mustachio. Hey man, it take a certain type of person to sport just a mustache, dog. I mean, that's just not something you wake up and be like, you know what? I'm going straight mustachio today.
My wife was asking me about it yesterday. I said it was a porn stash.
Hey, he looked like old boy that used to play for Gonzaga back in the day. That's what he looked like. What's the player that
Morrison.
Yeah, that's exactly who he looked like.
He looks like a mix between him and Ron Jeremy.
El Mustachio got hurt though. He got hurt.
Yeah. He feeling himself. He feeling himself. Yeah, that junker jumping on the tables after the game and pumping the fans up. So yeah, he doing his thing. You got to take that moment and run with it.
Hey, Rob, have you guys looked at who's leading in our sports bracket, man?
Tanya?
Yes, we have. Gucci's up there with number 3. I know it kind of changed a little bit. So before the end of the podcast, we'll make sure I know I'm at the bottom. I think I'm like 12. Arkales is 8. Troy is in the 5th, 6th. So yeah, it's getting close. My bracket is busted. When Gonzaga got put out, it was over.
Wow. Yeah, well, you're gonna have to give us a quick run. You have to give us a rundown on that before we close out the day. So you know who submitted brackets and let them know where they at.
You already know. I'll make sure everybody know where they at.
So y'all think that St. Peter's coach, if they win this game with Carolina, which I hope they don't, you think he gonna get another coaching gig somewhere else, or you think he gonna stay?
He gonna stay.
Because if he takes them to the Final Four, they gonna come for him.
Oh yeah, man. You know he's gonna be out, man. As soon as that joker get unless that school can match what's gonna get slapped on the table for him. Yeah, his U-Haul truck probably already parked at the house.
Hey, Troy, I was about to say that, man. St. Peter's don't have no commercials.
They just got broadcasting up in the administrative office. When you walk in, to sign your get your application for administration. So yeah.
Did you see that gym? That gym like a high school gym.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. Them dudes. I heard their announcers and telecasting from the bathroom, dog.
But hey, they want it. I call them the sleeper team. That's the sleeper team.
That's gonna be crazy. I got a question for you guys. So what has happened to NCAA basketball where we seeing teams like St. Peter's and all these unknowns making noise in the tournament? Because back in the day, it was Georgetown, Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, maybe Villanova. You know what I mean? All the big names. Now we getting a lot of teams that's coming in here playing with these big boys, and it ain't no joke. They ain't playing.
Yeah, I think they got opportunity. Yeah, I think it's an opportunity for them to grind. And, I think a lot of teams that was from like Division 3, Division 2 are now starting to, move up into Division 1. And they really, those divisions got some ballers, but you don't never see it because it's always geared toward Division 1. So it's always great to see like St. Peter's. Like I call them the straight Cinderella team. If you talking about a Cinderella team that has really like no one thought they would ever even be at Elite 8, that's the team. And they can really take it all. So I think it's just more of just planning and just kids coming into, I think kids also still hungry, that high school mentality, and they come to play. And like they what Coach Big said, he was the women's coach from Texas. He said, March Madness, everything go out the window. Your bracket, your seeding, every day you got to come and play your best. And if you don't come and play your best with whoever that your opponent is, you go home, an early exit.
That's right. I agree.
Yeah, well, I think it also comes from the AAU circuit. And I think the players, some players can't afford to go to all these big time camps and all these big time, summer programs. So a lot of these kids are getting overlooked and they go to these smaller schools and they kind of, some of them kind of make a pact with each other. We're going to go to this little small school and, try to do our thing. And I feel that, that's some of the route that they have to go because everybody can't, like I said, can't get to that big time level and it's not seen by coaches sometimes and they slide through the cracks. So and they just go to the right school and it's the right fit and they make it happen.
Yeah, I don't think that, everybody's going to the Blue Bloods like they used to go to now. So you don't want to go to the Blue Bloods now and sit the bench. They want to play now.
Yeah.
So I'll just go to this little small school or I'll just go to a school that ain't, a Blue Blood school and ball out and get to the league quick. And, especially if I raise my team up, I think that's what's happening. I think it's making it more balanced now, to answer your question, Gooch.
Okay. I'll look at it like this. There's a lot of stuff going on. So you got the one and done. You know what I mean? Cats can go in, get that 1 year, man. You got one time to go in there and shine. If, like you said, Troy, if you can start and you that dude and you didn't get that acknowledgement from them big schools and you get to the tournament, man, can you imagine how much you would feel like, hey, this is my chance. I ain't gonna blow it. You know what I mean? So I think that got a lot to do with it. And them kids on a whole nother level when they get the exposure. This is their first time really being on TV. And they going all in.
All in. And you know what? When you said that, I thought they would be like kind of starstruck. Who the coach really has done a great job. Even watch him on the podium when they speak after the game. Some of the media always ask him like, how are you feeling? And they said business as usual. So to me, when you got that mentality of business as usual, nothing else is going to matter. And for me, whoever, their coaching staff is, they did a hell of a job of making sure that they were prepped for this March Madness because they playing like they have been there before.
I'm rooting for them. I want them to go as far as they can, just not against Carolina. I hope they out tomorrow. But hey, but if they keep going, I'm a root for them. That is for sure. Just not tomorrow.
You said not tomorrow.
Nope.
But Troy, do you think they can win against North Carolina?
Yep, I do. Everybody has their day. So in Carolina, they could just have a day where it's just an off day. Did you just watch the game yesterday? They was struggling yesterday with UCLA. They just had to just get it together.
Yeah.
So, they can't wait too late on a team like this that's scrappy to get it together because they run you out the building. Too many,
Hey,
that's what I think.
Somebody put something, Mr. from New Americans Magazine, they posted in our private chat, and he brought up a really good point about how like social media has changed the dynamic in regards to smaller school getting exposure. So just imagine now, all of a sudden, you playing on NCAA tournament on CBS and TBS, and that translates directly to Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and everything. And you getting all these notoriety from places that you wouldn't normally get. And I don't know if you guys really tweet a lot, but you can get connected to a lot of different people really, really quick.
Mm-hmm. Really, really quick. Gooch, you just said it.
Hey,
I've been saying it. Social media drives sports. It drives sports.
Look what we did for that little small college.
Yeah, right.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, I was on social media, now they done blown up.
Yeah. And we're going to get to them because that was really one of the most amazing events that I have hosted in my 6 years of on the air. And to be able to see, like you said, that social media piece really come into play in a small window between Twitter and Facebook and parents sharing the, the podcast. Like you said, Gooch, it will really put schools and athletes that you would never even know anything about on the map. And that's what St. Peter's is. Like if you go to their Instagram page, they have two like two posts. And then I don't know if they're going to put anything else, but I was on their Instagram page and I was like, wow, that just lets you see the magic of social media and just what they have been able to accomplish just in a matter of 3 weeks of playing ball.
Mm-hmm. And people going to want to play for this. People going to want to play for that coach too now.
Yep.
So, people gonna want to play for him, and he goes deep in his bench. So you go and play.
Yeah,
yeah.
So that's what I said. You don't have to go to the Blue Bloods. You can go to school like St. Peter's, and look where they at right now.
Right, and that's gonna bring in some heck of a recruit. Can you imagine his recruits already trying to come talk to him, like just in their own city, because they're in New Jersey.
Yep.
So just think about that community that is already like going to bat for them. They are not going to be like, you know what? You don't even have to go far. You ain't got to go, leave the state and play. You can play right here at St. Peter's. That's going to be a whole different ball. Just that experience, even if they don't make it, they still going to have that experience. They're going to have that footage to share with all these new recruits who want something small town like St. Peter's.
Hey guys, quick question. What I posted earlier on the group was from my coverage of Division III championship. Actually, it was back in December. So, what do you guys think about the smaller schools, the alumni? How do they play? Because I know when Michigan won, you had Chris Webber, you have the 5 that were on the floor celebrating with the team. How does the alumni play important roles in that recruitment?
You mean far as what, a Division I school or
Division I, or just a smaller schools like St. Peter's?
And that's hard. That's a hard one to say. I mean, it's just the view, or you got to put your own time in for that. I mean, some of them people probably, working, got families, and it's just something. If your heart is in it, you got to put, get on your own dime and make that flight or make that drive and get back to the schools to get that support. So that's on that individual as far as that goes. But D1, like you said, for example, for Michigan, hey, that ain't nothing but a drop in the bucket for them dudes. They probably working for somebody got a private jet. They just hopping on it, bam, bam, boom, and they gone.
Yeah. Depends on how much you want to be invested. Some players just use the college as a vessel to get to the league, and you don't see them again. So it just depends on what that school might actually reach out to a player like Chris Webber or Jalen Rose and be like, We want, if they see your presence, it'll draw recruits. Maybe if you was a favorite player, if you was a fan of Juwan Howard or Jalen Rose, and you see them in the stands, with their Michigan gear on, you're gonna be like, man, I want to go play for Michigan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you don't see, like Bob says, you don't see that a lot.
Yeah, just like
it
Michael
just depends
Jordan.
on how much invested you want to be in. It's the individual thing.
Yeah, just like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is so involved in North Carolina. I don't know if most people understand that or not. Yeah,
that's true. Hey, you know me, I always got like a different perspective on some stuff. I get what you're saying. So the old players may have some influence. Now, if you guys remember back in the day, it was about the institution, the college, and we're going to get a decent education at this place. You know what I mean? And so I think a lot of kids are using basketball. There may be some who are looking at the college itself as how can this advance me from an institutional standpoint, not necessarily from a sports perspective. It's probably far and few between where they're not looking at the superstar and they're looking what they can get from Michigan as a university, because Michigan is like a top school. So I think there's that student, and then there's that student athlete who may take it all in. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you said the boosters and the alumni. Again, it goes back to social media. They have such a presence. When you look at just like Ohio State, their booster kind of changed who the athletes are. And again, for me, I think also too, athletes just want to go to school. I think it's not so much always ball. I think athletes just want to go to school. They want to get an education because there's that 1% that literally goes to the league. And I think these kiddos, the millennials, they know that. So a lot of these kids are using this college as a breakpoint into entrepreneurship, like a piece that we're not even thinking about. There's so many, like if you think about how OSU, how they're turning in their names into likeness, into nonprofit, to foundation, and they're bringing all these, now they're bringing in alumni, major athletes into who they are, back to their brand. And now they're blowing up in a whole different level that we never seen before because social media has such a major presence. And athletes now have the brains, they have the skills. So if you start looking at athletes, and when they talk about like what their major is, you're starting to see more business majors, entrepreneurship. You start to see journalism, physical science, social justice. You're seeing these different programs that you never really talked about, you never really saw. You're seeing them now to the forefront because they're using all that business and that administrative and management assistance, and they're now becoming entrepreneurs. And so they're making money outside of playing ball, but they're bridging. I won't say outside, they're bridging the basketball and all these upcoming athletes and bringing them over. Hey, wear my brand, wear my tennis shoe. So I think a lot of these major outlets are having a problem, even competing, because athletes are now using my name as a likeness, and the school is going along with it because it's money made. They're tapping into an untapped market of money.
Yep. Tanya, that's a dynamic conversation too. I do think, like you said, you get the 1% who come in there and they're gonna go to the biggest school they can because that's exactly what they want. They want the exposure to get to the NBA. Then you get the other kids who have that sense of, hey, I'm a student athlete. My goal is to go to the best university and get the best education. But like I said, it's a good dynamic. It depends on the student, like Rob said, it depends on what they want. But you don't hear too much of that story anymore.
Yeah, the NIL plays a big part of it too. Because now you can get money. So, like, just look at the boy from Ohio State, the freshman Branham. He got a decision to make. He can possibly be a lottery pick, or he could probably come back and make a couple million and be a higher lottery pick and get more money.
So what do you think? You think he gonna stay?
Do?
Or you think he gonna? What would you do? Would you stay or would you leave and declare for the draft?
It depends on what they say. How high my draft status is. If I'm a first rounder, the top 15, yeah, I'm out. But if somebody came up to me and said, "Man, I'm gonna give you $2 million to pose in front of this car right now," and then all I gotta do is ball out next year, I'm already good with the $2 million. And then I just ball out next year, I could make my draft status even higher next year. So I don't know, it's different now.
So Troy, it's funny that you mentioned that the NIL. So that thing is taking a life of its own because there's a foundation here in Columbus. I don't know if you heard of it. It's called, they're calling itself the Foundation, and they are specifically channeling their efforts on Ohio State athletes to, help them promote themselves as far as getting their image and likeness out there. And Columbus's favorite coach just got hired on the board, old Urban Meyer. So it's basically that NIL thing is just about to turn into a big ball of wax. It's going to get out of control because it's going to get ugly with that NIL, man. Because just this type of company it's going to influence. It's going to influence a lot of. If they're able to get this up and running, that's going to put a feather in Ohio State's cap. If they already got like one particular company that when you walk in the door, all we doing is focusing on you and getting you established with some type of money flow from businesses around Columbus. So that NIL is going to be a big factor in where kids go.
Yep. And somebody from the New American Magazine asked a question. EJ Liddell from Ohio State just announced that he is entering the draft. What do you think? What do you guys think about his prospect?
Woo.
Middle of the pack.
Yeah. He should have
come back for another year.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was surprised that he declared for the draft. You're good.
They've been saying that the coach told him to leave. They've been saying it all year.
I know. But I think for me,
for the group.
He
the
needs
question is, for me, since he talking about EJ Liddell, is he just as good as JJ Sullinger, or he equal to JJ Sullinger? They're like the same player to me.
They like the same player. I think EJ a little bit better.
Yeah, from what I've seen him play for like 6 games that I've been to, yeah, he's better. He's
a little bit better than me.
Yeah. He moves better. JJ Sullinger was he was a heavier type player. He moves a lot better, but I still think he need to come back for another year to get cooked a little bit more. But you got to do what's best for you.
Right.
So Bob, you said you think he's gonna be like what, a mid-round first rounder?
Yeah, I think if anything, he'll go late first round. I don't see him being no top 15 pick.
Okay. Hey, listen, you go mid first round, you making a statement, and you making some money too.
Yeah, but like I said, you gotta go.
He might be on the bench, but
yeah, you gotta go. You gotta do what you want to. You gotta do what's best for you.
It depends on where he goes. That's where it depends.
Yeah, there it is. It depends on where he goes. But where do you think
on what team drafted?
Where you think he gonna be? Where you think he gonna land at? Because that was my thing. Where is he gonna go?
If he's gonna be mid-round, he'll probably go to like a playoff team. So
mid-round, yeah,
he'll go to a playoff team. So
he definitely come off the bench.
Let's just say he go to Miami. He coming off the bench. He ain't starting.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? Even if he get drafted by Cleveland,
he coming off the bench.
He coming off the bench.
He gonna play, yeah. And that's that catch-22. Like he gonna play, but will you be able to play at that level?
Look at your boy. Remember Bates Diop? He was a high draft pick. He played for the Spurs. I don't never see him.
Is he still in the league?
He played for the Spurs.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
And he was like a top 15 pick.
Just let you know, man. Like we said, you might have to come in and get cooked a little bit more because I just see that for him. I just don't see him jumping into the league and being no big impact player. I don't see that.
To be honest, I think Brandon have a better a better way of starting before EJ Liddell because of his game.
Yeah, he took over. He took over that quarter.
They was giving him the ball at the end. They was like, "You go get buckets." You know what I mean? That's his beat.
It's crazy though. This relates to EJ too, man. I haven't seen anyone really outstanding. I'm talking about outstanding in the tournament. I haven't seen anybody that I'm like looking like, oh, he's superstar potential. There's no Ja Morant in this tournament, unless I'm looking at somebody.
Ivy from Purdue is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good.
But I do what you said. Yeah. There's no one really standing out. They just balling out.
Big boy from Auburn is good too, but he gonna have to get some meat on his bones, man.
The guy from
You drafted him for pure potential.
yeah, the guy from Wisconsin, Johnny Davis is pretty good.
Yeah, he good too.
Okay. Like I didn't see him, man. And he's out. You know what I mean? I mean, he's out the tournament. I'm just saying he's good, but he's out. And you guys know how college sports go, man. When you are like a superstar in college, your team goes along with you. He's not Carmelo Anthony.
Got to put him on your back. And I agree with you. Ain't nobody done that so far. So,
hey, what about the guy from Duke?
Which one?
Oh, he talking
about 3 or 4.
Light skin with the freshman. What's his name? Coco. Yeah. He got mass potential, but he don't bring it every night, in my opinion. He kind of flipped the switch on and off. He like when he played Ohio State here, he had like 27 and a half, came out the second half and finished with, I think, had 6 points. So he got to learn how to keep the motor running night in and night out.
I think the boy from Memphis, Duran, I think he could be top 3. That dude, he could play now in the league.
Yeah,
he could play now. He could play now. He's a big dude, and he got skills.
I don't know.
He almost single-handedly. If he didn't get in foul trouble, man, they would have. Who they lose to? Who did Memphis lose to? Because was it Gonzaga?
Yeah, they lost 78-82.
Man, if he didn't get in foul trouble, man, they could have beat them. Like that's why I knew Gonzaga. They're gonna lose, man.
Hey Troy, but you know what? I'm saying, Tanya, the tournament is lacking star power. All right, and y'all know I love my sports history. So if you remember, when you would watch the tournament, it was like Patrick Ewing playing today. Akeem Olajuwon's playing. It was 5 slammer jamming. I mean, you could know Michael Jordan was playing, Carmelo's playing.
So every team
you would get those. Go ahead, man.
So every team had something to look forward to watching the tournament, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't feel that. I ain't getting that vibe this year.
No, because I think it's more team ball. I think again the athletes that are coming into the next level, collegiate, they are team players. You know, I think when we was growing up, it was more even though it was a team, like you said, those stars were out. We don't really know who the players are. Mm-hmm. You know, they switch up, and then again, one day they on, the next day they get blowed out. Versus where, like Patrick, you were in Georgetown, you knew Georgetown was coming to play. You knew Duke was coming to play. Even if you're talking about the Big Ten, Michigan, Michigan State, everybody knew who Izzo was. Everybody knew who Duke was. You know, when you talk about UConn, now it's a little. I guess the level of the playing field is level. Where kind of everybody just playing. Yeah, there ain't no star power. It's more team power, like the actual team itself.
So what do you guys think now that like the top teams went home? Does it open up the room for Duke and Coach K to run the table?
I hope not.
No.
That's a good question.
I
don't think they're going to the final. I don't think they're gonna make it.
I don't either. I hope they lose to Arkansas.
Yeah, because Arkansas gonna drag them. I like the way Arkansas been playing.
I'm proud of Coach K.
I think I'm most impressed with Villanova. What do you guys think? Because they got a couple of big guys there that really.
Now that is a balanced team.
Yes.
Yes.
For sure.
For sure. Yeah. And I think they're gonna be able to be there too. You know, it's gonna be a great weekend of men's basketball. You know, again, St. Peter's is just, to me, it makes it even that much more better. Because we don't know what they're going to do, what they're capable of. And we've seen them blow out some some national teams. I want to see them take it all,
Can't sleep on Houston, though. Don't sleep on Houston.
I'm telling you, Houston is the field of Michigan State. Houston will be in the finals, I promise you.
Do not sleep on Houston. Houston, they got some dogs.
To answer my man's question, I would have taken Duke if I had to do it all over again. And I'm telling you, once you get this deep into the tournament, coaching matters. And there's probably only one other coach that really kind of can get with Mike Krzyzewski is the guy from Kansas, Bill Self. I think he's the coach.
Yes.
So if it comes down to just being this deep in the tournament and understand how to get through it, I'm taking Duke. Now, that wasn't my pick. I had them being dropped off because I didn't think their team was that good.
Me neither.
Far, but apparently that dude can coach.
Oh yeah.
The tournament's a different ball game, Gooch. So,
it sure is.
That's Duke's been doing this for years, man. You got to give it to him, unfortunately. So, I mean, it is what it is. My North Carolina fan don't want to let me go nowhere near choosing them, though. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, Gooch, don't count Calvin Sampson out, man. I'm telling you. Don't count Calvin Sampson out over at Houston.
No.
Telling you,
that Houston team, they are impressive.
Because it's going to be a good matchup with them in Villanova, but I think they're going to get Villanova due to low post size.
They're going to get Villanova.
Yes, I think they match up pretty well on the perimeter, but I think when you get down in that paint, Villanova is kind of small. So if they can take a little bit advantage of that low post, I think Houston going to walk out the door with that W.
I agree.
So as we wrap up men's tourney, so what you think, who's going to be in the Final Four? Who's going to be in the Final Four?
Let's see.
I got Houston, North Carolina.
Oh.
I throw St. Peter's up there. No, I can't throw them up there. They play with North Carolina. Houston, North Carolina. I'd put Duke in Kansas.
All right. I got Duke. I have Villanova.
Oh.
Kansas. And the doggone what is that thing? The Peacocks. Put the Peacocks in the Final Four.
That's St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. So my Final Four, I have Kansas. No, I have St. Peter's, Villanova, Duke. Whew. And that last one kind of like I still have it empty. I got St. Peter's taking it all.
You got St. Peter's winning it?
What? Yeah.
Wait.
Write that down.
I got St. Peter's taking it all. Because ain't nobody thinks they're gonna make it. And I think that's what has gotten them this far. And I think the coach, every game he plays, such with ease and poise. Yeah, I think St. Peter's can take it all.
I hope not, because that means they have to beat North Carolina.
Right now, there's only, I know in the NCAA bracket challenge, there's only 7 left in the nation that has brackets, correct brackets. Yep, 7.
That's crazy.
Hey, Tyan, did you guys talk about Ohio State women's?
No, we get ready to go there now, but we're going to kind of jump into what our signing day. So last Sunday, we held a Hocking College signing day. First ever. It is a small Division III school in Hocking College, Ohio. And it was 15 women that came on to the show and they signed their national intent letter with us. So I just want to give it up for the 15 ladies. I will, recognize them today because it was amazing. So Troy, I'm just going to hand it off to you because, you and SportzKelz is a vocal, voice, of the event, and just kind of give your, just your sentiments and what you thought of it.
I thought it was awesome, man. The parents were happy, that was all in real time. So I wasn't expecting it to be that, that wild. It was like wild. And, I loved how the girls, how excited they was. They was ready to sign that paper. And hey, man, I think they're going to have a good team, man. Just from, what the coach was saying, how the girls is reacting, the parents is happy. I think it was dope. I think we should do that often. That should happen often.
Okay. What about you, SportzKelz?
Hey, it was a cool experience. I think what I liked about it, the involvement that the parents had, because the one dad, I guess his daughter's coming in from Detroit, and he was trying to get some perks, get him some flights, get some tickets for some flights down to the game. So it was a good event. We had fun with it, and like Troy said, I think they're gonna be a high energy team. Because I guess they're coming off from last year. I think they only may have had like 6 or 7 players that Coach T was saying. And to bring in 15 recruits, you're gonna be out there scratching the claw for some play time. So they practice is gonna be real competitive, and I think they're gonna have a good time down there. So they look like they kind of got everything filled on their roster as far as height in the post, perimeter players, and they look like they got some pretty. From the point guard position, the girls that was coming in as point guard, they was talking like, yeah, I'm gonna be that floor general and that dog. So I think they're gonna have a well organized group down there.
Yeah, like I told the coach, he got a good problem.
Yeah, he got a good problem. And I just want to say thank you, Coach DJ and Coach T, for honoring us, this platform, because it was, like you said, it was dope and it was real time. Everybody was where they was at. They were at home. To see them have their families, to see them again. The question that kind of stood out to me was that, how sometimes when you have athletes talk about their weaknesses, they kind of shy away with it. Them girls was on point. They knew what they needed to do, what they needed to come into this season and work on. They knew what their strengths were. And sometimes that's kind of hard to kind of, talk about, especially live on the air. And it was a dope 2 hours. So we just want to give it up to the ladies who had came on and signed their national intent to be a athlete for Hocking College women's basketball for the 2022-2023 season. Miracle Petty out of Taft. We had Kelsey Harris from Clyde C. Miller Career Academy. We had Mariah Maxey from Cardinal Rider. Kaylin Crossy from she was a JUCO transfer. Tatum Johnson from Warrensville Heights. They had Samaja Skaggs from Beechcroft, so she was right here, city, Columbus Public City School kid. Then we had Imani Ward from Franklinton Prep, right here in Columbus, Ohio. We had Micah Ingram, Walnut Kids, Brooklyn Heisel from Gahanna, Hannah Elman from Withrow, Layla Harris from Ecourse Academy, Octavia Morris from Indian Trail, and Faith Gunaway from Winton Woods. So let's give it up for them. Let's give it up for them. Great shout out. And, they even had 2 players from Chicago. And, just to be able to see some of the kids that was going, coming away 5 hours away. And they say, I'm ready to play. And just to even see, like I said, again, the family participation. And I just want to say thank you to all the families, because all this week they have been sharing the podcast. They've been sharing pictures of their daughters signing their intent. That's what filled my heart. Was like, wow, this was amazing. And sometimes you really don't know how you're going to touch people, and just to be a part of their journey into collegiate basketball. Hey, we did that. So let's give it up for SportzKelz, because we want to see it more. So if you have a school, college, and you want to have your signing day virtual, because I know we're still dealing with some of the COVID protocols, hey, call us up, and we would love to, have your signing day right here on SportzKelz podcast. So now we're going to jump into some women's sports. I know this is kind of where me and Akan, it has been a bananas of a season. Because just think, fella, just take a minute and think. 2020, we didn't have no sports. So I kind of want to go around the room before we just jump into women's sports and just really think about and share your responses of how you feel this year having sports. After 2020, we didn't have no sports at all, except for the NBA, but there was no collegiate at all.
I realized how much I missed it when it was gone. When it came back. That's about as real as I can be.
Yeah, I agree with you. When you're sitting there watching rebroadcast the games that you probably didn't already watched, that lets you know your tongue on the floor for some live action. Because there was some days I was in here watching games I had already seen, and I'm sitting here yelling and like I ain't never seen them before. But I'm glad it's back.
I was up there.
Right. You don't realize how much sports impacts your life daily. I mean, think about it. We connect throughout the week via text. You know what I mean? Me and Kelz talk when we at the bowling alley, and a lot of times it's sports related. If you really go deep, most of the time men meet each other. The first thing we talk about is sports. Hey man, you watched the game last night. That's a segue into a relationship. So that being said, just missing sports, missing the conversation, seeing the fans interact because they part of the game too. You know what I mean? You really understand how much it impacts your life. There was many days when we ain't had no sports. I just went to bed. It was bedtime. Go to bed.
What about you, Akan?
Man, it's been for one, thank you for the opportunity. It's been incredible just covering the OSU and then actually having an opportunity to go to the tournaments and to the Final Four. It's a breathtaking. One of the questions that I asked Coach Lisa from Iowa is the impact that women's sports have on our society. But one of the things that I noticed as well in asking that question is the emptiness that it feel like no one really came to support OSU women's. And there was a lot of people that went to Pittsburgh for the men. And the women's went farther down. They were a part of they had a share Big Ten conference regular season. They were the number one team in the tournament, and they went to the Sweet 16. So I would love to see more fans supporting the women's. Like, they came out to. I feel like the entire state of Indiana came out to support the women's when they play in Indianapolis. I like to see that for OSU.
Yeah, and just for me, like Goose said, sports for me has always been a gateway. I've been knowing Troy. We like classmates and schoolmates. That was, like you said, that was my gateway to relationship. And sometimes it's hard with women unless they love sports. That was my relationship builder with RKL. It was like, it's sports. So when you say last year, it was like, what we gonna watch? Like you said, we was watching old reruns. We was pulling out tape, because remember at that time, ESPN and Sports Illustrated wasn't even airing because of COVID. So you think about, and that was in the middle of Kobe passing away, and then COVID really took off. We were at home. We were at our friend's house, I think, for the first 90 days at his house, talking about sports, eating over sports, tailgating in our own right because we didn't have sports to watch. And this year, to see it come back in a vengeance and to see how women's basketball catapulted to a whole nother level where now they're starting to have the conversation of how do women's sports play into the bigger picture? Forget about the advertisements. I understand all that. But women's basketball, first of all, I went to Baton Rouge. SportzKelz podcast, the Diva was in Baton Rouge. And let me tell you something about Baton Rouge and down south. We know we're from the Midwest.
SEC. Talk about the SEC.
We have SEC and even just SEC ball, just the fans. When OSU played, so first of all, OSU won. So when we got there, OSU played, they had their first two games. And so OSU had to play Missouri State. So that was the buy-in from Missouri State. So OSU ended up winning that game 63-56. It was an empty arena from both teams. It sits about, I would say about 10 to 15,000 because you're on LSU campus. So when they kept saying the PMAC, I didn't know what that was until I actually got on the campus. I called Bob and I was like, Bob, I am literally standing in front of the Shaq statue. And because the guy kept saying Shaq-a-Dak, and I was like, what? And so when I drove, my Uber took me there, and they were just talking about LSU. It is an LSU town, but it sits right in the middle of, it's a school town, but it's in the ghetto. I was like, whoa. And it's a magnificent stadium. So you're talking about this big arena, and it was empty. It was empty. But Ohio State played a heck of a game against a Missouri scrappy team that was all about, you know what I'm saying? Because again, we're from the Midwest. And so they played their ball. I went to the post, interviews came back. And that's when I say that elevated of the level of noise that was happening between LSU and Jackson State. So, Jackson State, HBCU, and you had LSU down south. They all said there's like 2-3 hour radius of driving between these cities and these schools. It literally, I was hyperventilating. I'm just going to be honest. I was hyperventilating because my adrenaline was pumping because I was going to leave after the OSU game. And I just said, something just pulled me to go inside. When I say it was 7,980 people in the stands, it felt like I was at an NFL game. Jackson State, they played like they should have been there. One, they played better than LSU. They went full court.
Yeah, they was getting blown out at first, and they came back.
When I say third quarter came into play, and that's when I realized again there was Kim across the hardwood, from Baylor, and she just to be able to see these major head coaches like Coach Reed. I cannot wait to post her post interview because she talked about something. She said that the transfer porter, we're breaking it down. Women's will have a place and HBCU will have a place. She said Black women will have a place. Black women coaches will have a place. That is not what they showed on TV, but that's what she said. And even after the game was over, it was like to listen to her, it was like to see where it's going, to see where women's sports is really going. So it was two amazing games. LSU again, they just kept digging. Like you said, Troy, they kept digging and digging and digging. And Jackson State, they just couldn't get that rhythm fourth quarter. And I think too, when women's, they play so much in that second and third quarter, it takes the wind out of them going into the fourth quarter. And
hey, it was funny. My bad.
Go ahead.
Hey, it was funny to see the LSU coach melt down against Ohio State, though. She melted down. What's her name? Malky. Hey, she was trying to get. Hey, one thing I don't like about the women's tournament is I don't like that home team play at home stuff.
I know it happens a lot.
I think that's just man. That ain't how the tournament go.
It's an advantage.
That's an advantage. That should be a little bit more neutral. I don't like that home play at home. This is like going to a home game.
Once again, it's disrespect to the women's sport. Once again.
I don't like that about the women's tournament again. I think they need to fix that, but that's just me.
Yeah,
a question.
Yeah,
I had a question for you. So this is my thing today. So the same stuff we talked about in men's basketball, the athletes going to different schools. So UConn was running the women's league for years. They getting impacted by the same stuff. The players aren't just like so admiring UConn that they going to different places. Because I'm seeing some different teams in the tournament nowadays.
Oh yeah, because again, it's starting to be a different level playing field. And again, Coach Reed talked about that. She said the transfer portal allows other athletes to come to other schools that they would never come to, that would never play ball for. And then coaches, like LSU had never been to that place. Kim said, head coach Maloki said that. She was like, these were new, athletes coming into, in this experience. And she really had to put her coaching britches on, because when OSU came, everybody thought OSU was going to get blown out. LSU spreaded the court.
I thought they was going to lose.
Press. They started shooting threes. They had 10. They took what Jackson State couldn't finish. They had 10 3-points shooting. So that was 30 points off the rip. They didn't leave nothing. And that was what, when she cocky. Kim is cocky, because she has an impressive background from national, from the Olympics.
3 championships.
And championships at Baylor, because she was the Baylor championship in 2019.
Yes.
She was. And then Stanford was 2021. So to see some new faces, that's what I like, to see some new faces. We still got Maryland. You still got Michigan. We still got 2 Big Ten teams left. In Maryland and Michigan. I think Michigan can go far. Elite 8 is going on right now, and then next week is Final Four. So I think it's anybody's game. I think if Maryland, they got put out, but I think if Texas can continue to play hard, because Vic is a great coach. Vic plays with heart. He plays with faith. He plays with a philosophy of, that's the head coach for Texas. He plays with a different type of, he reminds me of Dabo Swinney, Clemson's head coach. He coaches with faith. Kim coaches with, she looks at stats. and how to move the ball. So I think the coaches that are coming that are going into the Final Four, they're coaching with a different philosophy than what we usually see. These older coaches coach with stats. A lot of the coaches now are giving the players the opportunity to bring in who they are. And a lot of that is that culture, that faith, that philosophy, and that changes the narratives of the coach playing.
Nice.
There we go.
So so this week, OSU ended up, it was a heart-wrenching in the last, I would say, 2 minutes of the game yesterday against Texas, because they had them on. They had Harmon, which was a freshman, which was an A1 player, but she got into foul trouble early. And JC, Beecham, OSU played as a team. That's why I think what OSU is going to take in, what we asked Coach McGruff going into next season, he's going to take in that team experience. Because, Miller and I think I leave this another player that's going to be a senior that's leaving. So he's bringing back his whole team. And just think how much experience they've had, because OSU always get put out one and done. So to see them go into the Sweet 16 and only lose by 3 against Texas, who was supposed to win by 10, the sky is the limit for OSU. I think OSU, if they just they didn't get too many points. They missed 7 free throws in the third quarter, which really hurt them going into the fourth. That swung the momentum right back to Texas. And Ebo, Texas had like a 6'5". I think she might have been 6'5" Ebo, that she just stayed in the paint. But they was able to ruffle her. But I think it's just those last couple plays, it didn't get them over the hump. And they lost by 3, 66-63. And it was heart-wrenching because I was screaming. I was calling a con. And I was like, God. And I love women's sports, to really see all these different teams, to see Jackson State almost go to Sweet 16, and to see who we still have. We still got Michigan. We still got, now we have Michigan still in. I'll pull my sheet really quick so I can tell you who we still have in. So we got South Carolina. They have Louisville, and Tennessee is going to be a hell of a game today. Oh, my God. So Michigan and South Dakota. We got Stanford in Texas. You got North Carolina. I think Notre Dame was actually playing. And then you have Indiana and UConn. So it's wide open. Who's going to be the final four, but I don't know.
I got South Carolina winning it all.
You got South Carolina?
Yep.
Over Stanford?
That's what I said. I got Stanford.
Yep.
Because she,
I ain't rooting against Don Staley.
Yeah.
Nah.
I ain't rooting against. That's nah. I got South Carolina. You can take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank. Okay.
Write it down.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna write it down. But I want to see her win, because can you imagine? We already won. Man, her win.
Who?
Don Staley? Well, she had one already, right?
Yeah, Don Staley already won a championship.
Yeah, but still, just at this level, just another year to see it. Again, we see all the narratives and all. We know she's won already, but just to see it happen again, But it's going to be a good game against, I think, Stanford and her. Woo, I can't wait, because next week, SportzKelz and New American Magazine, we will be flying to Minnesota for the Final Four. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, so, we're going to be taking this, and that's going to be great because the show was on Saturday, and that's when that break. But so both games will be 6 o'clock and 9:30 on Friday. So we will be there for the live action. And then on Saturday, we will be able to bring the show live from Minneapolis, get all of the updates and all of the conversation. And then the championship game will be on Sunday. So yeah, we rolling. So I'm excited, and there's so much that's going to be happening that I will be bringing, and I'll be bringing about Final Four, for the women's Final Four. They have all types of different events happening. They got a fan fest that will be there. So that's again another piece with the fans. The fan fest was out because of COVID, and so for him to be able to see them bring that back, and so I'm excited to see all the legends and just you'll be able to meet some of the athletes, you'll be able to meet coaches at the fan fest. So we'll be able to put all that information out.
Yeah, I think in Minneapolis on Thursday or Friday. On Thursday, they're going to have the AP Players of the Year and Coach of the Year presentation in Minneapolis, and it's presented by the NCAA president. I think his name is Mark, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, so that's going to be exciting.
So yeah, it's going to be a lot going on. So that wraps up, women's sports. And, again, I'm just glad for the platform that we have had in this last 5 years to actually be able to go to a first round. We always have been able to manage to get the credentials for the championship, but to be able to see the progression, me and Okan both, I'll let Okan really quick talk about the men's basketball because that's where he was at in Pittsburgh. And to be able to get a part of that coverage, it's been great. And to be able to talk about it on the show. And, be able to have you all involved and talk about it. So I'll let you take it away and talk about the Pittsburgh, first round of play and what our boys did and what they didn't do.
So in Pittsburgh, I was most impressed with Pittsburgh. I was most impressed with Villanova. And the reason why was because I feel like they are well balanced. But Houston, to me, stands out. For one, if they're able to go back to the Final Four, this is the second straight year that Coach Kevin will lead them back. But if we could talk about the fact that obviously the fans were able to go back to the games was incredible because I had a chance to step outside of the arcade. They play at the PPG Paints Arcade, which is the home of the NHL Pittsburgh Penguins. So it was really incredible to step outside for a little bit and for me to watch the fans pour in from different areas within the United States to go and watch the game. I know that it was so the biggest fans base was Ohio State, which is like 2.5 mile away from Pittsburgh, and then Villanova. So to get that experience where you had Ohio State fans stay even when the team was not playing was something that was remarkable. I know throughout the show we talked about the fact that when you in 2020 when you watch basketball or sports, it was like a ghost town. You couldn't see anybody. So I think one thing about sports is the fan reaction. Even if you're not rooting for that team, that fan reaction alone is what fuel the sport. So to see that, it was incredible. And I know that when OSU was coming back in the second quarter, it felt like the entire crowd was very quiet, but the OSU crowd was really starting to get into it. So for me as a fan, I miss that spirit. I miss that atmosphere. So, but just to finish you off, man, I think it's going to be a good game between Villanova and Houston, but I do believe that Houston will have advantage because of the experience that they have, and I believe majority of the players from last year are back, and I do see them advancing, but it's going to be a close game.
Okay. So that wraps up women's sports. And again, I know for both, we got the men's and the women's going. I just kind of want to really quick, was the men's and women's always at the same time? Because I just kind of felt that it was like 1 week after each. So it kind of
it was always at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, it was the women's were the 5th and 6th, I believe. And then for the tournaments, for the Big Ten tournament, it was the following week. I believe it was the 15th and the 16th.
Right. It just seemed like each week, each year, it's almost like it collides. And it's great to be able to see, women's basketball played in the evening time. A lot of the games are played like on ESPN2. So it was great also to see that women's sports got a bit of the limelight this year because of the head coaches that were in the tournament. And I think that's what, some of the coaches talked about too throughout this tournament is be able to have a platform. And again, fans, it was great to be, to have your sports director hat on and then be able to get off the air and watch and be a fan. And like you said, to watch basketball at its greatest level. And that's that collegiate level for me. And to be able to see some great women's basketball. So we're going to kind of jump over to SportzKelz with his crazy shenanigan topic because I miss these topics because I want to hear some of these topics.
All right. Well, the first one is going to come out of straight out of Columbus, Ohio. We had a South African woman help orchestrate a plan to smuggle synthetic narcotics in from China that were the drugs were soaked in actual paper that were going to be distributed out to the prisons in Ohio.
Wow.
So somehow the feds got a hold of this, and she got arrested up at the airport on Thursday. So her game plan was distribute these loads of papers to prisons around the state. And I guess the prisoners was going to get this paper, I guess, be smoking it in the prison. So how the feds got a hold of that, I couldn't tell you.
What kind of paper? Like notebook
like actual
paper?
legal like paper, like legal letterhead paper. And it was soaked. The drugs was soaked in the paper. So I guess you're gonna roll your stuff up in the papers and get your smoke on.
Nice.
Not that way.
Crazy.
That's, you know what? People like that so smart they could be a millionaire, but they thinking low. They thinking real low. Who would ever thought that?
If they could be that intricate, man, you could be thinking of crazy stuff to make you money. That's just crazy.
Yeah. Soaking it into the paper. Soaking the drugs into the paper. I don't know. And then my next one is we had a guy on Portland. He stole a U-Haul van. That 26-year-old Rupert Cross took a U-Haul van that was filled with 1,100 pairs of Adidas Yeezys, which was worth $250,000 if he could have got these sold on the street. And I looked these up, and they ain't doing nothing for me. So I don't know if you ever seen them, but that is a shoe that I think I'd rather go barefoot.
Yeah, that's a bear claw shoe. That's them claws. That's some shoes that look like bear claw. Like it look like your foot is on top of a claw. Like them the most ugliest shoes. And these kids, them shoes is like $400 a piece.
Yeah.
The only thing I hear about them is that they're really, really comfortable. And I'm old. My feet first. So if they comfortable, I'll rock them.
Okay. And then
I ain't paying that much money for them though.
Yeah, they well, store-wise, they go for $250 a hit and up. So this one's for the fellas. Now, I know, guys, you've been in your car, and this usually gets broadcast big time around the tournament, where, you got your local doctors that'll give you your vasectomies. And they be like, look, this is the perfect time. You can stay at home with the peas on your pods and get your, while you got to cover out the surgery.
Literally.
So now they are working on a male birth control pill that has passed this first round of testing. So the next step in the pill is going to be the human trials, where they're going to be working on suppressing testosterone and your sperm count. So I don't know how well this is going to go over. And me personally, I don't think I would give that a test run.
No.
Hey man, listen, there's some cats out here who wish that pill was around. Like Evander Holyfield, for instance. He has numerous children.
Yeah.
There was a dude who owed the child support a whole bunch of money. He probably wish he had that pill.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they're working on the second phase of testing now. So, Gooch, if you know anybody want to apply, they're handing out $1,500 to be a tester.
Hey, it looks like former Cleveland Tristan Thompson. You might need one.
Right.
Well, if he getting Chewbacca pregnant, he having a bunch of Wookiees running around. So.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
We just lost at least 5 viewers.
Shots fired. He said Chewbacca. Oh no.
Well, that is my little rap on the community world for this week.
Bob, you're gonna hear from the FCC.
Right, you're gonna hear. Yeah,
like our motto is from a fan's perspective. Because trust me, if it's behind the scenes, we'll be saying the same thing.
I ain't mad at you at all. Keep that same energy, Bob.
Ooh, Lord, man, that was pretty good.
God, Bob, that took us out. I do want to say too, going in the lines of it's not shenanigan news, but did you hear about the 14-year-old boy that died because his seat wasn't checked on that ride in Orlando?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And that was a far fall.
Did you see that fall? Because they tried to take the video down, but It's already so you already know, again, social media is circulated. And
I sent it over to your Gooch and Troy on Facebook.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Passed away in midair, 400 feet, because that ride is the ride that me and Bob saw when we was in Orlando.
Yeah.
That is like a small little amusement park. But my question was, can you think just how many times, workers who work in these places don't check those rides?
Oh, they don't. They just go by and touch the little seatbelt and keep rolling. They don't be doing their part, man.
Yeah.
And that story really is real sad. I did catch some of that this morning on the news that one of the inspectors was talking about, well, the seatbelt don't click. And I'm like, well, hell, that's how I know everything good when it clicks.
Exactly.
It doesn't click.
And that's how I said the same thing, Gooch. Like, he's like, well, they were trying to, to me, they were trying to get around it. No, the guy, if you see the video, he never even went to him. He never even went over. He just touched the handle. And for me, when I ride roller, that's why I stopped riding roller coasters, because I want that mug so tight, it's going to take my breath away. It's going to smash my rib cage in. That's how tight it was. Any type of give to a game, I'm pulling people's clothes. It's not, no, I can't. So to see him, and that ride was taller than the Statue of Liberty. First of all, that ride is 405 feet, because we've seen it. It's in Orlando. It's on a small little, the little rides when you in Orlando. It's like the small little May amusement parks. That's what that ride is at. And so you already know exactly. Everybody go to Orlando, they've seen that ride. And again, inside the building, it's a part of the bar, so you can go and watch the games, and then you go outside and you get on this ride. And this ride is 405 feet. It's not even 400. It's 405 feet in the air. And then when you get to the top, and then it lets go. So that means that he went all the way to the top, realizing he busted. I don't know when he did, and then from the video, you can see him come out of the, like, midway as it was coming down. You can see him fall out.
That's a lawsuit that they're not going to win.
And that's what I said. It's a lawsuit because, again, it goes back to social media. It's all on tape. They try to, Meta and Instagram, all these powers that be, try to get him to take it down. But by this time, can you imagine so many people was watching it? Because you watching him in the midair coming down.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Tanya, a lot of times we hear these stories, and if you really don't look and see and listen with a third ear, the language they used was he slipped out of the seat. Now, that sounds like it was on him that he slipped out, like he should have been doing something to prevent himself from slipping. So the way they giving that story out, they already trying to cover it up.
Yeah,
that was a big dude. Now, how the hell he gonna slip out of a seat?
Right.
Now I ain't trying to be funny now, but he was a heavy set dude. Now ain't no slipping out no seat.
Because he was a football player. So
that seat had that brace had to come up, and he had to fly out of there. There ain't no way in the world.
Right, because the brace goes over your head.
Mm-hmm.
It goes over your head and it snaps in between your legs. So as soon as he went up, and as soon as that ride went to coming down, that wind lifted that up.
That bar lifted up and lifted him right up out of that seat.
And he probably didn't know until he was already out of the seat. So I'm looking at not just the people on the ground. Can you imagine the people that was in the ride? Because the ride goes around like in a circle. Can you imagine? Because you sit close to the next person next to you, and there he out. That's traumatizing. So only you can't. What they want to say, you can't account for that. You can't account for eyewitnesses that watch that happen. And the video distinctly shows him not ever going over to him. He just touched the bar and said, "You okay?" And he said, I guess another video kept saying that he kept asking them to recheck, and they never did. And that's the result. And it shows him on the ground. It's just like he's like, face down. That's how he came down.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, y'all really don't want to talk about Deshaun Watson?
Y'all
serious? We should have started with that. Are y'all serious?
2-hour show, Troy. We can't.
That's the biggest topic of sports of the whole.
That's the biggest
right now.
I let that over. Y'all talk about it.
This can get really.
Are we not a sports show?
We can get really deep, man.
Come on, Troy.
Get deep.
Kick it off, Troy. I left that one.
Y'all want to wait till next week to talk about Deshaun Watson? I'm appalled.
All right, go ahead. You talk about it. Go ahead. You can lead it off. What's your thoughts on it?
We were going to talk about it. I was going to let y'all just open it up because I've been watching.
No. We're not getting up out of here without talking about that. Come on now. Are we serious?
Don't do this. Don't do it, Troy. Don't do it.
Dang, Troy.
Go, Troy. Go.
That story is bigger than a tournament.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let's just put it this way. There's some folks up in Cleveland that ain't happy he's there.
And Goose, you got a Twitter battle? You might as well go ahead and talk about that.
You trying to get me fired up, Troy.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
This is one of them weeks I was like, boy, if somebody really don't know me, they ain't gonna understand what I'm saying. Because tweeting can get you in trouble. You only got so many characters. So it's a matter of emotion, Troy, and I can't get my emotion out.
So you're the resident Browns fan.
All right.
You got the floor.
I'm gonna go ahead. This is gonna be highly controversial, Tanya.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I don't care.
I'm with it.
I'm coming from a place of a neutral position, understanding both sides. All right.
Okay.
This being said, okay, so he went to court. They said we don't have anything. He went to court again. They said we don't have anything. So my first thing is, if the courts say we don't have anything, who is the higher authority to say, hey, you know what, that man shouldn't have a job? All right. So that's one problem I got with this whole thing. And then it goes into the court of public opinion, and we all know how that goes because there's a lot of hypocrites who feel like, hey, that man did some stuff and he got elected to the president's office, but this dude is just an athlete and y'all don't want him in Cleveland. That's my second part. I do think the Browns and Andrew Berry, that dude is a professional. He did good professional. I'm sure he did his homework because by him signing, he putting his job on the line. So I'm sure he's not going to do it. He wouldn't do it for anybody else. He's not just going to give his position up just to bring this young man in. He didn't do his homework. Now, here on the other side, could it be some stuff that went in behind the scenes? Absolutely. We'll probably never hear the entire story. But if you went through the courts and the court said we don't have anything, then what can you do but give him a job?
I just want the Browns fans to keep that same energy when that man bring y'all a Super Bowl. Who was like, oh, don't bring him in. No, don't do this, don't do that. Keep that same energy. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Don't
I'm gonna say this.
Fan. Go ahead, Bob.
I'm gonna say this. Now this goes with the NFL. I don't want to hear nothing about no suspension. I don't want to hear about those 2 games, 3 games. I don't want to hear none of that. Because for one, slap on the wrist for the Washington Redskins, horrific events at that facility. Let's swing it down to Texas, horrific events at that facility, and didn't even get a sniff, not even a cough. Now this here, if he do get any type of suspension, I'll sue the league. I would sue the league because the league is just backwards. Is just totally backwards. You let the ownership just get away with murder, but when it comes down to the players, they always want to handcuff them, hit them with fines, fees, this, that, and the other thing. But if he gets suspended, if I was him, if I even gave him suspend me for a quarter, I would sue the league.
He's gonna get suspended, Bob.
Well, I would sue him because all the shenanigans that's going on with them owners. Hey, if you want to so-called protect the shield, swing the door both ways.
Because they're going to say that he violated the code of conduct.
True enough. But you got shenanigans going on by your so-called leadership. Yeah. And you ain't doing not a doggone thing to him. I get you getting a little stupid fines and all that, but guess what? That's a tax write-off. He probably gonna get that back at the end of the year. So if I was him, I would sue.
And Rob, that's my point. I'm with you on that 100%. If he hadn't gone through the court system and the court system can't find anything, and you're gonna turn around and just hold me accountable for basically what it comes down to is he said she said, okay? And I understand it's a large number of women. And I watched the press conference with Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns yesterday. And I mean, they were coming at him all type of ways. And you can tell everybody ain't coming straight with it. They asked him why so many different women. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be a tough one. He said, look, man, he said, social media is the way that people do business. He said, I'm a young cat. I'm on here on Instagram, you know, finding people in different places. And he said, they say, well, why so many? He said, look, I'm in a sports organization. I'm traveling. He said, if you really look at it, I might have had 5 different masseuses over the last 5 years. And I started thinking about that. I was like, okay, that's a realistic response. I get down with that. So, I mean, I don't know. And then I also did some research and found out the grand jury can basically, you can go to a grand jury over peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know what I mean? And I'm not going against what the women said. I'm just saying what it takes for a case to go to the grand jury. It don't take much.
Yeah. So, and I think too with Deshaun, you know, is that as a woman put their sometimes in their, especially when it comes to athletes, in a position for social media. And especially, you know, and then turn around and use it for their gain. And that's where then they fall victim, because some might have, you know, a sexual assault might have happened. But when you take it to social media instead of doing the proper channels like it was back in the day, then it kind of like it gets murky. Because then for me, I'll look at it, you give the athlete a top priority. You know what I'm saying? You make it like, even that's not even an athlete, just me and peer, you give them a different level of like, oh, okay, that's your shoot on. Because then they go and find on Instagram that you was with this person, that person. And I know we as a woman, for myself, we just have to do our due diligence and be better. Like, think about who you are with. What's going to happen? You know, and again, it's he say, she say stuff. Just like we did when we was going up. It was he say, she say stuff. Now that he say, she say stuff is all over national TV. And a lot of these women are out here to bag an athlete. And then when that athlete don't want to be bothered or say, oh, like he just said, I was just trying to get a massage. That ain't what you told me behind doors. So it's just a lot of, you know, like Deshaun, he been caught up not just one time. Like for me, that's why I said, like you said, so many women, dude, this ain't your first rodeo. Like, when is you gonna learn? It's like I look at Tristan. When is y'all athletes gonna learn about this social media? Like Lala, what's his husband's name? I can't even think. Carmelo. He another one. Like, you know, social media, it's like a next thing as a phone call, like it was when we was talking on a rotary phone. That is a source of communication. And I was talking to Chris Brown, and that girl could have got away with it until Chris Brown pulled out them videos. He pulled out them texts, and what happened? Thing went away. The jury was like, no, you are enticing that. So they have to be careful. The way of the world now for women and men, they got to be careful of what they do, what they say, because they'll be just like Deshaun. Because a regular person on the street, they wouldn't have had that same outcome. They'd have been in jail.
The Browns obviously did their homework.
Yeah, they had to do their homework.
And
they obviously did their homework.
I'm all about anybody who rapes, sexually assaults a woman. They need to get what they're supposed to get. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is where I get kind of like, what the heck happened? So the media asked them to do some really tough questions. All right. And they had boundaries because it's the media. So in the courtroom, they can ask whatever the heck they want to ask.
Right.
So if he was that convincing to the court, what did the ladies say where the courts didn't go, wait a minute, that dude did wrong? You know what I mean? Because they interviewed these women. So I'm like, well, what really happened? And we'll probably never know, but they didn't get, I don't know if they gave their full story, whether their story was shallow. Maybe they was influenced, because that was the word, that they might have been influenced by their attorney to join this suit. It's a lot of stuff where it's like, what do you do? You know what I mean?
What do you do? Yeah.
Was it consensual?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It wasn't consensual. That's what's happening too, especially for African-American athletes, stars, rappers. It's consensual until the lady puts it out there on social media, and then it's like they raped them or sexual assault. And again, just go back to Chris Brown. He actually pulled those receipts. He pulled them tapes and pulled those. So I think maybe that might have happened, where he had texts and, you know, and videos and emails and things that showed that it was consensual. Because when you talk about 22, like, whoa, that means you was out here. But like Bob said, to him, he shouldn't be fined. He should go ahead and play. He got the money. They gave him the money. So he shouldn't be fined. He shouldn't be fined at all. He shouldn't have no suspension. He'd be able to go in the regular season and play. But will that happen? That's the thing. Will that happen?
Yeah.
So do you guys think? Sorry, do you guys think that the former Pittsburgh quarterback is receiving less attention or more attention than this case? Remember when he
talking about Roethlisberger?
Yeah.
He ain't getting no press.
That was less. That was way less.
And he settled.
Yeah.
But Deshaun Watson ain't settled for nothing. He said, "Well, I'll give you some money." I didn't do nothing.
Right.
He said he's not going to settle too.
So then, like Tanya said, we didn't have Twitter and Facebook back then. So anybody who picks up a device can get that same news and it gets spread. He was fortunate that didn't happen. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he got treated any different. What I'm saying is this new world with social media gets everything out. So I think he would have got the same, pretty close to the same treatment. Who knows? You know, but I do want to bring up one more thing. Only the black experience for a man is totally different.
It sure is.
All the time. We've seen Karens go out and a guy be at the park and the lady said, well, he raped me, the man who was walking the dog. You know what I mean? If he didn't have that video and she said he did something to me and he man out walking his dog, that could have turned into a case. So most black men I know feel some type of way when we hear about stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was a young man who went to Pickerington Central some years ago and they accused him of raping the girl. The girl, come to find out, he never did anything, but he lost his whole career. He lost his college scholarships. He couldn't play ball no more. So when we hear, we like, give me the facts. We need more. And that's just how we are.
Yeah. And that's again, and even for African American women, like you said, it changes how you even talk to people. It changes how you approach people. Like I talk to youth all the time, especially guys when we're out and about, and they say their form of communication and how they start kicking it with a woman is social media. Texting, sending, pictures back and forth through social media. And then when you try to break it off or say, it was just casual, next thing I know, it's all over the school or it's out here on social media. And then that's the first thing they go to is sexual assault or rape. And then after the fact, and we don't know all the facts of what has been said because they're still having those verbal conversations too. Like you said, Deshaun Watson, hopefully he'll just understand and do better, because I think a lot of them just don't learn from the mistakes. I don't even think they're mistakes, just learn from those things. Like, dude, you almost lost your career.
Right.
Well, I got one bit of advice for Freaky Deaky. Dude, hire you a masseuse to travel with you. You got the money to pay her, and take every oil down you get so you won't have no more problems.
Yeah.
Case closed.
So Goose, you 100% good with this signing?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, my thing is he went through the court system. I mean, I'm gonna sit up there and say, feel a different way about it. I wish that he has to learn how to be a professional. That's what Kel's getting at. Hire that woman or man or whatever.
Travel.
And have a relationship with them. You know what I mean?
I respect that. I just talked to a few Browns fans that said they ain't rooting for the Browns. And I said, you're lying.
Right.
You're lying. You're lying because if that man bring you home a trophy, you keep that same energy. Right. And I respect you. I respect you by saying you cool. Right. But those other Browns fans that I talk to, they like, oh no, I'm done with it. But why? He didn't get charged with nothing.
Right. And I'm gonna throw this out there too. Deshaun Watson is what, 24, 25
24.
years old? 26. So he's so young. You gave this man millions of dollars. And he don't seem like he was the cat in high school with all the swag and everything. He probably wasn't that dude. So now he got money. He was like, you know what? I can call and Instagram, and all of a sudden I got women hollering at me all over the place. And I think that's part of why he failed. I'm not saying, again, I'm being careful how I say this, but I think that played into why he was calling so many different masseuses.
Mm-hmm.
They always lying on him. They always lying on him. I know I'm late to the show. I'm late to the show. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But just what's like the Lord, I'm on time.
What's your take, Cyber Dog? I can't wait to hear this.
I know.
All I want to say is they lied on the man. The man took a shower and he got oiled up and put his towel on, and he laid on his stomach, and the lady said, roll over, and he rolled over on his back. I don't know what's the problem.
Oh, boy.
Hold on, they're all lying on him. Let me just say this, and I'm sorry I'm late. Let me just say this, real talk. He went to the highest court. Now, he in Houston. Now, Houston is not known as to look out for anybody truly of color. Now, let's keep it real. They couldn't find nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No video, no nothing. There ain't with no video, no cameras, no pictures, no nothing.
Nothing.
So
I mean, granted, we in Cleveland, we so thirsty for a championship right now. I'm trying to tell you, we would have gave Roethlisberger a second chance like they did in Pittsburgh. I'm just going to say this. I'm not trying to be sexist, and I'm not trying to be misogynistic. But didn't he look good in that suit the other day with that brown and the orange and the cream shirt?
I'm sure for the Browns fans.
I gave him a pass right then. He came on and he said in front of the world, I didn't do it. And I said, you know what? And I'm speaking for my father. God rest his soul. You know what he would have said? I don't think he did it.
Hey, OJ said the same thing.
Hey.
That's a good one, Kenny. That's a good one. Every now and then.
Hey, Neil, what do you think about the Browns fans who said that they're not going to root for the Browns this year because of this?
You're right. And you know what, Troy, I heard what you said, and I heard what you talked to your friends. And right now, you're right. They're not rooting for the Browns. But when September comes and he get out on the field and he win that opener or whatever game, or when he get to the point where he actually wins some games, I guarantee you
that energy gonna change.
Ask him then.
Oh, because I already told these people I don't want to see them in no Browns gear ever.
Right.
Yeah, I want you to keep a tab on that, Troy. I want you to keep an update on that.
What?
Yeah, I want you to keep an update on that because I want to hear it. I want to hear this.
You know who I am.
I'm gonna ask the Diva a question real quick. Diva,
yeah,
how do you feel about this? Real talk.
I mean, for real, as a woman who's watching young girls all over social media with TNA out, you got to be. It's even have that conversation. You know, it could go both ways. They could have been sexually assaulted, but then they also could have been, like Troy said, consensual. And I think sometimes it's more consensual than sexual assault. I'm not saying that don't happen. Right. I just say that women, young women that are in this world now use social media as a way to appropriate sex, appropriate relationship, appropriate these athletes. And these athletes just better, you know, with Deshaun, he just might have just been able to skim over because he had things ducks in a row. But we see it all over the place. But for our African American men and athletes, they ain't too savvy when it come to social media. Right. They ain't too slick, you know. So it could go either way. Again, he went to court. That's the thing for me. He went to court and he didn't pay. So that meant to me that he didn't, you know, that he's saying, I ain't paying nobody nothing, because that's when you start getting fickle, when women start wanting money. So what I mean, I know you want some some things because of you being sexually assaulted, but that's the first thing that comes out your mouth, and you start selling your story all over the place, because that generates money.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for that. And
so I just think, you know, at the end of the day, I think men and women both got to be careful out here, especially athletes. And like, I'll go back to RKL. Get you a masseuse. Have her travel with you. Get her one or two. Stop having them every city that you go to. Travel with them so that you won't have these issues. Because so you talking about 22 women, that means you went to 22 cities and you picked up a masseuse, and every single one of them said, "Hey, you raped me," or you.
He got enough money now where he can build one in his house.
Yeah. So if you want some masseuse, Deshaun, go get you one. Go buy a whole organization of lady masseuse and have them travel with you. That's why I ain't understand that either. Why all that money you making, you can't have them travel with you? What? Or it's just that he like that different, likey.
But now also, let me just say this. Now, this didn't come out. But if they put a billboard in Texas saying if anybody was sexually assaulted by Deshaun Watson, I mean, come on. That's just like saying, hey, come on, y'all. Come get this money. If we got this open case going, line up. And it's a lot of flaws, but he really had to do a lot to build up his reputation again.
Yeah, you got to rebuild your character and your representation, even for the women that they interview. Right. These women are out here, so I just think women and men both. In this day and age, you got to really know who you messing with because it will destroy your life. It will, and you see what Deshaun has happened to him. It almost destroyed his life. Thank God that Cleveland Browns really understood and gave him that chance. Because
they researched though for 6 months.
Yeah,
they knew already that a lot of these cases, a lot of them cases was just gonna drop. So this dude didn't have a history of it. Now a lot of these dudes, I'm gonna keep it real. The history ain't just now when they get to the NFL. Let's keep it real. They've been doing this for years.
Here's my other thing though, Neil. None of these women actually went straight to the police. Nope. Like I said earlier, they waited on the attorney to call them and say, hey, you want to jump in this class action, this suit? You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's where the court couldn't charge him criminally because they never pursued him on a criminal aspect.
See, that's what payday. Yeah, see, that's what SportzKelz is saying, that don't nobody take the proper legal steps. Everybody want to jump straight in the boat to get paid. Right. You got to go through. You got to go through the process and the paperwork if you want it to stick, and they didn't do it.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that they didn't do it because I'm a woman and I'm for women's rights. But for me, I want to go. If it happened, I'm going to the police. I don't care who you is. I'm going to the police. My mama gonna tell me go to the police. My mama ain't gonna tell me to go to social media and do a whole freaking live video about it. That's what girls do.
That to me summed it up right there. Go to the police on your own. Don't wait for nobody to come to you.
No, because if it really happened, you go to police and you let the police handle it. And again, that gives you the leverage. Social media ain't no leverage. That is spoken word. That is a public opinion. And you trying to get paid based off of public opinion. Yeah. And it might have really happened, but you giving that person an out by putting it out that I'm gonna get paid because you've seen other athletes or other stars had to dish out or they paid under the table to make it go away. No. So that let Deshaun say, I ain't giving you no money. Like, no. When I look at Deshaun Watson, again, I go back to Chris Brown in the situation because he is right in the same boat. He had that girl, but he had them tapes, he had them emails, and he gave them to the judge. And the judge was like, oh, lady, go somewhere and sit down. This was consensual. So that's what he went to. He went to court and said, this is what I have. So that's why I said women got to make sure they do it. And I know we're scared of what's going to happen, but if you've really been sexual assault raped, you are going to go to someone. You're going to get your things in order so that you can make it right and make it stick. Who cares who they are? And that's how I feel. If it happened, your mom gonna be like, who cares who he is? You better go to the police and just like again. Because again, if that would have been somebody regular off the street, he would have had no job. He'd have been in jail right now. Based off of these 22 women. 22 women, look at Bill Cosby. Jail. Well, it don't matter.
Hey, not to change the subject, but that division is gonna be must-see TV.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dog fight.
Must see. Hey, now Ocon posted a question, and if I
Bob Baker.
Yeah, if I could just jump on that real quickly. I know I'm late. Yeah. I'm about to get off. My bad. You said what team may pick him up and what are chances to turn him into an elite quarterback? Ocon, it would be a team that has a established head coach. You talking Pittsburgh. If you went to Pittsburgh, with Pittsburgh, and it has to be a system in place already.
Right.
New England. He'd go to New England and ball out because they got a system. Pittsburgh got a system. He can go to Seattle. Pete Carroll, no, his system is tried and true. So it had to be somewhere like that, man, because he couldn't go to Dallas. I'm sorry, as much.
No.
He couldn't handle Dallas. He couldn't go to a place where they just like Washington or any of those places like that, because he does have some deficiencies
But Neil, I don't think that nobody wants to trade for him. I don't. I think that they don't want to give up any picks.
Well, it's that $18 million too, Troy. They don't know that $18 million either.
They don't want to pay that salary. They don't know his health status. They waiting for the Browns to cut him.
Right, that's the key.
Why not? They wait for him to go on the waivers.
Right,
and the Browns can do that whenever they want.
Right.
Hey, but so, Troy, somebody put a bird in my ear. Why wait? Why do it now? You know somebody.
Why? They ain't in no rush. They got their quarterback.
Right.
After that little punk ass letter, I'll let him sit for the whole season.
Right. Make him sit right down the sideline and watch Deshaun Watson because he gonna ball out. I'm gonna give away from Deshaun because he gonna put Ohio back on the map again. Because that North, it's gonna be with Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. Man, that's gonna be like you said. You
better mention one more quarterback when you say that. Them two, Joe Burrow. You better mention one more quarterback.
I said the division.
I'm talking SportzKelz. Better mention one more quarterback.
Here we go. Joe Burrow gonna be in the mix too. So yeah,
I don't think nobody's scared of Trubisky.
I'm scared of him in Pittsburgh, Troy. I'm scared of Trubisky in Pittsburgh because, like I said, that system, bro.
Yes, he's gonna be fundamentally sound. I'm telling you, he gonna be pick and peck, throwing the ball, but he's gonna be fundamentally sound.
So you saying he's gonna be what, a game manager?
Yep.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that whole division gonna be a boys to be. It's gonna be a boys to be reckoned with. Yeah, I can't wait.
The whole AFC.
The whole AFC.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for y'all, and I know we got to go. Did y'all think that did Kyrie win or did the mayor buckle?
Mayor buckle.
The mayor buckle.
Yeah, he buckled.
The mayor buckle.
Yeah, he buckled.
Yeah,
so Kyrie won.
He buckled with a briefcase in a trash can.
Yeah.
Why you think he buckled, Bob?
He got a briefcase in his trash can.
Do you think he buckled because of Kyrie?
Take this money and get these boats that's coming with it.
Do you think he buckled because of Kyrie or think he buckled because of the Yankees?
Both. The Nets and Yankees put their money together. You better take this money and get these boats and go somewhere and sit down.
I don't think they give a damn about Kyrie in Brooklyn. I think if they would have gave a damn about Kyrie in New York and Madison Square. If he was in Madison Square, they would have been took this down.
So you're saying Brooklyn is smaller? Well, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Madison Square Garden. If Kyrie was in Madison Square Garden right now, we wouldn't even talk about this.
That's true.
He'd have played the whole season.
I agree with you.
I'm so upset. I'm so upset about that because I was hoping he was going to play the Golden State in the finals where he couldn't play in Golden State or he couldn't play. I was just wishing for that.
And two, I think again the media had a lot to do with it. The media had a lot to do with, Mayor Adams officially changing it because the world is open. They already said we ain't closing nothing. You gonna either get vaccinated or it's your choice. It's your choice. And I think, with the media started coming, them last 2 weeks, the media started coming down hard, like hampering, these major outlets.
Because it made no sense. How can a player from another team that ain't vaccinated
thank you. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was extra dumb. Yeah, that was dumb.
That was the part. That was to me.
That was dumb.
The deal. Yeah. When I found out that you can allow other players to be that play and they're not vaccinated, but you're not letting me play and I'm alone. Yeah, that changed the whole narrative. And once the media got a hold of that narrative, it just went all the way down. He had no choice. I don't think he had a choice.
And don't sleep on the Yankees too. It is spring training, and that drives a lot of money.
It's recouped.
Because that's where the money at. That New York Yankees, they even talked about it. Like, that's what again, them not even having spring training. Yeah, that's money maker. That was the money.
You talking because Aaron Judge, he's not vaccinated. That's their marquee player. Right. So they was like, we're gonna lose some money.
Yeah, they had one guy, I guess he worked behind the scenes and he was pissed. He was like, yeah, y'all all of a sudden now y'all gonna go ahead and open this up and I had to go get a shot to keep money on my table. I didn't want to get no shot.
Yep.
So it's coming down to votes. That's what it is. That Joker was starting to lose votes.
Yep. He already a quirky dude, right? He is a quirky dude, man.
And Troy, I just looked it up really quick. the Yankees' first home game is April 7th. So yes.
Case closed.
Yep. And he signed an emergency executive order. So that mandated. So even I'm expanding to the performance, exemption to private employer mandate. And they said moving forward, unvaccinated New York Yankee and Met players in the respective home ballparks can actually play. So for Urban, it changed means he can play Sunday at the Barclays Center, his first home game since June 7th. And then the unvaccinated Mets and Yankees means they're all eligible to play when baseball opens up April 7th.
Yeah, money. Shit. They said, buddy, either you going to open this up or, buddy, you better find another job once your term is up.
Oh, yeah, it's recoup time for real, dog. It's recoup.
Yeah.
Them Steinbrenners was like, yeah, Mr. Mayor, let's have us a little talk.
And he even said, he said he described New York as a low risk environment now.
Sure.
He was just on the news 3 weeks ago talking about they was highly contagious. It was still New York was like shut down. All of a sudden now you said it's currently in a low risk environment.
Sure. The most populated city in the world is low risk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that I'm reading that, that the Mets and the Yankees had a lot to do with that. Yeah. And April 7th is in a week open season for baseball.
Yeah. How ironic.
Hey, it's all about the dollar.
Yeah, and now everybody talking about let's work together to bring jobs and our New York economy back. Yeah, because that New York Mets and them Yankees bring that money. It's baseball season. People think football season. Football
is baseball.
No, it's baseball.
Right.
Especially in New York, baseball is big.
Baseball is king.
Well, 81 home games. So you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money.
And a lot without Judge.
Right.
A lot of home games without Judge. They ain't having that. You know that.
Because them folks not going to come to the game. I'm not going to pay.
No. And them expensive tickets.
Right.
Yeah, the New York Yankees tickets is like one of the highest tickets in baseball. So yeah.
Okay,
that's why I can't wait. Huh?
You got on your list about NBA offensive and defensive player of the year.
Ooh.
Go ahead. Who's gonna be the MVP?
That's what
you know that's going up in Philadelphia.
Who, Embiid?
Embiid.
It might be him.
Embiid.
It might be Embiid.
Who gonna get it, O'Con?
Oh man, the guy from Milwaukee might repeat it, man.
Yes, that's what's his name?
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah,
I think Antetokounmpo gonna come up a big third place finisher in that. You're gonna have your man out of Denver probably take a strong second.
I think he MVP.
I'm gonna tell you.
I think Jokic MVP to me.
Yeah, I say it's gonna be one of them two.
You think it's gonna be Irvin?
Kyrie Irving?
LeBron.
Oh boy, put him on mute. Jeez, oh jeez.
LeBron.
If you're looking at the true meaning of most valuable player on a team,
yeah,
it would be
when he getting goaded to play, yeah.
LeBron
he only step up when somebody talking about him.
LeBron older than me, and he's still getting triple double.
Nope, we ain't going for that older crap. Step up every night for your team. We're worrying about taking a night off here and there. Give me that LeBron crap.
He can't be taking any night off right now.
Take a picture down to Cleveland one day. I'm gonna say, if you see this guy,
he sure hammered down on Kevin Love the other day though. Kevin Love. Kevin Love got out the way. He was like, nah, bro.
That's because my family and friends drove in from out of town.
At 40 years, 38, whatever years.
That's because my family and friends came in from out of town. You ain't doing that to help get your team to the playoffs. Stop it.
So if they make the playoffs, then
you gonna be MVP? You gonna be back at MVP?
If they make the playoffs, he's MVP. Ebenezer.
Hey, no.
I got what is it from Milwaukee? I got Milwaukee being the MVP.
You got
Giannis. Yeah.
You got Giannis.
I got Giannis.
I got Jokic. But I'm probably right. He's gonna go to Embiid.
What about the rookie of the year?
Oh, Aaron Mobley.
Evan Mobley. That's what I got. I got Scott Barnes.
or
I got Scott Barnes.
Barnes? Okay.
From Toronto?
I got Mobley.
Point guard from Detroit, SportzKelz.
Oh, yeah,
Cunningham.
Cunningham. Yes.
It's going to be them three.
Them three.
I think it's Evan Mobley's to lose.
Okay.
What about defensive player of the year?
One more. I talked about the coach of the year. Who's going to be the NBA coach of the year?
I'll give it to the coach for the Suns. I don't know his name, the brother name, but
Monty Williams.
Nah, Memphis's coach is going to be the coach of the year.
Taylor Jenkins?
Yeah, that's the coach of the year right there.
Okay. They even got the Miami coach Eric in the mix.
Hey, he probably is now because he wanted to beat up Jimmy Butler the other day.
Somebody saying something about going to dinner?
Yes, I heard. Yeah, that's what they said. They all be arguing about who going to dinner, but I think that was a lie. That was just something they told the media. It was something.
Yeah, they Jimmy Butler wasn't contesting shots.
Okay.
And coach was like, man, because they was getting blew out by Golden State. So and I think he had Poole. Like Poole was lighting him up. He wasn't contesting those shots. Spoelstra got mad at him, told him in the huddle. He was like, man, I ain't whatever. Take me out the game. And that's when old Haslam was like, man, let's go back. I'll kick your ass right now. Yo, you hear Haslam? I was like, let's go. I'll kick your ass right now. I'll kick your ass right now. He ain't moved. He ain't want it with Haslam.
No, he ain't want it. And Haslam has always been that. He's always been that spark.
He gonna protect his coach.
Yep, he gonna protect that coach.
He gonna protect his coach. He ain't want that. Who defensive player of the year?
Shit, who in the running?
Giannis
Adebayo, and
Adebayo and Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. Might as well give it to somebody different, man.
I think it's Adebayo.
Giannis gonna reel it in.
But he's gonna be the MVP.
He ain't gonna be the MVP.
What?
Has anybody won an MVP and defensive player of the year the same year?
No.
Not that I know of. We got to look that one up. I don't think so.
And get that out next week.
Michael Jordan never did that.
Nah, Money Mike ain't never bagged both of them.
He ain't.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I thought LeBron. I thought LeBron did that. I thought LeBron got it one year. Like he did.
Your husband don't want to hear that. He don't want to hear
MVP,
that.
I mean, in that soft air, I could go for LeBron. I mean, that soft air, if he play in, I could go for that.
I think it was
just because you had tickets
to the Cincinnati Kings. Hold on.
So LeBron won the MVP and defensive player of the year before?
Defensive player of the year over LeBron. That's what I'm looking for. Who won MVP of the year in the same year?
That's a good
Michael Jordan, 1988.
Thank you. The real GOAT. Thank you.
I said, that's what I was saying. I was like, Michael Jordan ain't won that?
Yeah, 1988.
The
Chicago
real
Bulls
GOAT,
became the first player. But 6 years later, Hakeem Olajuwon, he done it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I
can see that.
That was a baller.
Was it anybody else?
No, it was just Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon.
That scenario only goes down on your PlayStation 5, Neil. Damn, Laverne. I tell you.
I ain't gonna talk about you. You're looking good in your Cincinnati Bearcat uniform. That's one thing they do look good in their uniforms. That's about it.
Oh, I tell you, you look.
What you think? What you say?
Cleveland Stater. Boy, I tell you, walk around there, look green and gold. Look green and gold underoos. What happened?
What happened? Hold on. I don't know why we all like.
Oh man, I guess they said we was over too long. They said shit.
Yeah, we go out and pull the plug and just go between us.
Cut them off.
I don't know. Hold on, don't go nowhere. I'm like, what just happened?
Man, look like we still on. I think you guys got to do the camera view.
Yeah, I just like, what happened? Like, we've been over here kicking it forever. Okay, here we go.
All right, we ain't got Neil on there. Oh, there we go.
There we go. We back.
I'm really happy that the Browns got Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah, that's a hell of a pickup.
And you know what? The problem is, in all my years of watching the Cleveland Browns, my dad, if he was here, rest his soul, one thing that Cleveland sports was always afraid of a dynamic athlete. Why? But if you look down the years,
pocket quarterback,
always past that we were always past that athlete.
Pocket quarterbacks.
You see what I'm saying? And if it weren't for Baker Mayfield, there's a lot of folks that it's 50-50 because they don't know the story. They don't know Baker came in there and he wasn't Andrew Berry's guy. He wasn't Kevin Stefanski's guy. And y'all know how that worked. And you know, when you're a GM, you're a head coach, you want your own man, okay? So if they tell him if he's hurt, and I know Troy said this months ago, why are you playing if you hurt? If they told you to sit and you don't, you done pissed on the GM, you done pissed on the coach, and now that's when Haslam came out. I'm sorry, Haslam came out and said, we looking for an adult as a quarterback. We don't even care if you got 22 cases on. That's a huge statement. And these Cleveland fans got to wake up. Leave that racist shit alone, because that's what half this shit is about.
That also tell you how much his own team didn't like him. They did not like Baker.
Now,
let's just keep it 100. They did not like him.
The truth come out. The truth come out always at the end.
So if you a baller, because you remember people ain't like Michael. Michael Jordan's teammates ain't like him. Right. But if you a baller, and you taking me to the promised land, I'll be like, well, I can hang. If you suck and you disliked, right? Motherfuckers gonna be like, man, you out of here.
You got to go.
Ain't nobody come to his defense. Ain't nobody saying, hey, well, I think Baker could have. I don't think that's true what y'all say about Baker. Ain't nobody say shit. Ain't nobody say shit about his ass. They say, man, get him out of here.
Yeah. So now, if y'all think about it, y'all read the stories, and this is my last thing. They're asking Landry to come back. They're even talking about bringing Odell back. So if this happened, it is just plain and simple. Y'all
gonna have to bring somebody back because y'all gave up all the draft picks.
But hey, we got Amari Cooper. Thank you, Jerry.
Y'all gonna need somebody.
Now, Amari Cooper going to Browns, that was the most dumbest. We gonna be dumb.
You didn't want Amari Cooper to go to Browns?
No, she's a Cowboys fan.
Cowboys fan.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing to his potential. And
I know that, but he needed.
He had that big contract too.
Yeah. They had to. I know they had to give up cap space, but to see him gone, he was the pass rusher. When I look at Dax don't he throw in the air, and Amari Cooper was the only one really receiver that was able to get. And I know we needed more, but he was able to get those catches. But he gonna be a beast over. And like you said, if OBJ comes back, because now that he got that ring, wow, that's gonna be a heck of a. But will he come back? Do you think OBJ will come back?
I think he will. He didn't want to leave, but he just couldn't take. They said this fool.
He's like he couldn't take it.
They said this fool. They weren't even throwing the ball to him in practice. And Andrew Berry then was like, that's why he still got respect for Andrew Berry and Stefanski.
And he went to his dad and was like, look, Dad, check this out, man. Why don't you just make up a little video, put it out there?
Man, you know he sent that damn video himself on his dad. That dad probably over his recliner sleep. He's like,
I gotta get up out of here, man.
Type that up and hit that enter button while his dad was asleep after eating some oatmeal.
He ain't even throwing me the ball in practice. He ain't throwing you the ball in practice. You ain't getting the ball in the game either.
Thank you. He asked his dad to videotape. His dad put out the VHS camera. He ain't take.
That's why I said with that whole Baker Mayfield, when OBJ walked, I knew it was lights out, curtains for him, because he was like his ally when he first came. He was his ally, and then when the season began and started to unfold, I was like, yeah, dude, you about to go.
Yeah.
Hey, do y'all think that Tyreek Hill is a bigger loss for Mahomes, or Mahomes is good?
Mahomes good.
Yeah.
Why? Because they got Juju?
No, because they got Mahomes.
Okay.
He that cold, man. Some players don't need players.
I think that was a big loss.
I do too.
That was a big loss.
I agree with you. It was a big loss. And it just goes to show you how the windows go. You got a small window.
You got to strike.
You got to strike. So you think about it, it really failed. If you think about it, Troy, they got one chip, but they should have got how many? They should have got
about at least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's sad to say. That's going to be something that's going to be on Mahomes and Andy Reid for a while because now the AFC is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, the AFC is ridiculous. They got some gunners to deal with them.
I mean,
they loaded. He went down to Miami. He ain't got the only thing. They just gotta make sure Tua know how to throw.
But like when
they killing Tua right now, man. Tua, the way they talking, he on borrowed time.
Well, like when Kelly was texting this week, and I understand what he was saying, which one was the bigger loss. But I can't blame Tyreek because Tyreek could have stayed and took the cut.
Yeah.
And made sure.
Yeah.
He got a strike too, though.
He the highest paid wide receiver in history.
Right. But he got to eat.
And it's a daggone shame, buddy, because he ain't gonna see nothing down in Miami because they gave up the barn to give him.
I heard he got about 15 kids, so everybody you gotta.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. But Miami gonna be hurting for a long time behind that trade.
And Tua's on a short leash too. Expect to see Teddy Bridgewater about week 4. Expect to see Teddy Bridgewater week 4. And was y'all expecting your boy to go out to Vegas, Adams? I wasn't expecting that.
No, they said he wanted out.
Well,
but I thought that's the reason why Aaron Rodgers came back to ball with him.
Same situation, Troy. They can't pay both of these people. Green Bay is a historic team, but not a major market.
Right.
Yeah, but that's his best weapon. That's
Aaron Rodgers. From what I heard, Aaron Rodgers already knew he wasn't coming back, so he
knew.
He said, "Me, myself, and Irene, I'm signing the highest contract I can get." Because he ain't thinking about no damn championships, man. He just trying to get paid.
And Adams, he was content. Adams was content not getting on that franchise tag.
And my last thing with the Cincinnati Bengals, they made some great moves with the offensive line, but they got a small window too.
Yep.
Because in 2 years, what you gonna pay that man? He done took you to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Second year, he's gonna.
They gotta pay him and the wide receiver.
They gotta pay him now. They gotta pay him and Castle.
They gotta pay him and the wide receiver. So
they got the wide receivers.
They got a boatload of folks they gotta pay for. They got Boyd coming up here shortly, and Higgins is gonna be coming back up shortly. So they got some decisions to make.
And Cincinnati ain't known to be opening up their wallet.
No,
that's
cheapos.
If you want to play with the Joneses, you better get off of that. You better get off of that donkey and go get on the stallion.
Y'all still practice on a high school field. Y'all ain't gonna open up your wallet for
right. They need to go get a damn dome built. Like I told you, Troy. If you want to sit down and watch a practice, act like your car stalled on the backside of 71, and you can watch practice.
But that's unique about Cincinnati too, man. I do like that part about it, man. I do like that part. That's unique. They don't do that no more. That's old school. That's how
that's old cheapo. Your damn facility need to be out the damn suburbs some damn where. You got to be kid. You got the potential of a truck flying over the rail and killing everybody on the team.
If I could see you practicing from the freeway, you ain't got a good facility.
Yeah. Right. Could you imagine a major accident? You got a damn 18-wheeler flying off of that ramp, and you about to catch a close cabin, and you die, and a semi truck kill you out on the practice field.
But Kelz, they used to practice at Wilmington College.
I'll take Wilmington College. Neil, you must not have not seen that way that freeway ramp wrap around that practice field. I'm telling you, they one text away from having a car fly out on that fucking field.
Well, hey, what I tell you what, man, I'm a Browns fan, but I can't help but to like what Cincinnati got, man.
It's gonna be fun. Next season gonna be fun, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a dog fight. And the key is for everybody in the AFC, you better have hella 5 backups because your starters is gonna get nicked up.
Oh yeah, that's the game.
You better have hella 5 backups.
Bob, did y'all franchise tag the linebacker?
Only one we franchise tagged was the safety, Bates. Ain't nobody else been franchised.
Bates got the franchise tag. The linebacker got the deal. Okay.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Why ain't he happy?
You know everybody nowadays want the payday, man. He want the long payday.
Oh, you talking about Bates is not happy?
Yeah, Bates ain't happy.
I'm glad you're not in the general office. I swear to God. You related to the Browns. You their nephew. You the Browns nephew.
No, trust me. I'm gonna do you like me and Troy talking about. I'm gonna do you like my man Red. My office hours from 9 to 5. You keep asking, you go see the bottom of the pavement hanging upside down.
My office hours are from 9 to 5. 9 to 5. R. Kelly, general manager.
Hey, and when you come see me, you better have a La Rosa's pizza or we got problems.
Oh man, everybody gonna get cut.
He's the only general manager with a doorbell on his office door.
You gonna be at Wilmington College recruiting players,
right?
you didn't cut all your NFL players,
right? You won't be around for long.
Well, fellas, we're gonna sum up this weekend with you got to go get it. You got to go get it. So, what would be your you got to go get it? What you want to sum up this week? What has been happening all over the news with you got to go get it?
You got to go get it.
Well, hands off to this to the new Supreme Court nominee,
Katanji
Jackson. Let's go.
I was about to call it Sarah Jones. Thank y'all for giving me her name. I swear.
But bro, why they take her through all that damn rigmarole for 2 days though? They gonna
be a whole
Republicans don't want her in there.
Touch on it so bad.
What color dress did you have on in the 3rd grade? Like what the fuck? Like why y'all ask this woman all these damn questions?
It was.
I would introduce had a white sheet on in the hood, and just to come over.
So really quick, that's what I'm saying. That you got to go get it. Like since we touched on Katanji, she was a bailiff. So Troy, like. We're all married. We have women. Like, how did that make you feel to see what she had to endure? Like, this was live on TV America. Like, what were your thoughts?
I thought that it was awesome, and I can't wait for her to finally get in so she can kick Clarence Thomas's ass and his wife right on up out of there.
and I want to give a shout out to Cory Booker too, man.
With his wife, you know. What Clarence Thomas's wife was in cahoots with Trump?
Oh yeah, she
those 30
buses. She the one that reserved those 30 buses that came to Columbus.
I don't see how Clarence Thomas was still even a Supreme Court judge after all the stuff he's been going through.
Right. He didn't know. He knew. Yeah, you knew.
He's terrible.
You knew. You mean to tell me she gonna take that type of money out and not reserve, but get 30 buses and you don't know that type of money is coming out your account, man? No, never. When I look at her with poised, relentless, fearless. Give it up for Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. Yeah. Give it up to Corey Thomas. Listen, they showed the world what a Black woman was. You know, we know because we married. You know, you all are married to a Black woman, but to let the world see what a Black woman was about. That we education piece. Let's talk about the education piece. She has more education than everybody on the bench.
Yeah, man.
They put side by side. Education. Women, Black African American women in this nation is the highest when it comes to education, but we're the lowest paid in all facets. The lowest paid. That's why we're really pushing that women's equality. Just to see the things that they said about her, and then for Mitch McConnell to come on and say that he wasn't going to vote, just those type of things. And she has stayed in her poise. I just go back to what First Lady Obama said. When they go low, we go higher. And when she went all the way high, when her best friend got on there, somebody that she had met back in college, and how she talked about what she had to endure to get to this place, she was a bailiff. They ain't never had a bailiff, for one. When I look at a bailiff, that's somebody who's going to have a different perspective. It ain't entitlement. They're going to have a different perspective of the cases that are going to come through. Nobody's been as strong as her since when RGB was still living. And I just feel that she's going to bring a different perspective to the Supreme Court. I'm glad that President Joe Biden actually went through with what he said he was going to do and nominate her. VP Kamala Harris is the deciding vote. So she going in, and she went through all that because she going in. They can't stop it because she the deciding.
No, they can't stop it now.
No, Kamala Harris is the deciding vote. So what do you think, RKLs? What do you think?
Well, I'm just glad that, like y'all said, all the mess she had to go through with the questions, she didn't crack under pressure. She kept it firm and stood her ground, and answered everything with poise and sophistication. And then
the questions was like elementary.
Yeah, it was some dumb stuff. It was some dumb stuff. And then my next go-to is make sure you're, when that new pill come out, the male birth control. Y'all young people, go out there and get that.
Oh, I'm fixed.
I said the young people go out there and get that male birth control pill today. They about to have hit the market.
So you gotta cyber dog.
Well, I just also want to jump in on what we were just talking about. Cory Booker, man, did he bring it? Ooh, slapped them all in the face. He slapped them all in the face. He said, "Looking at you, I see Harriet Tubman.
I see Harriet.
Looking at you, I see my mother." A lot of folks can't understand what I'm talking about. I was like,
he said, and he said, when I see my ancestors, that took me that lifted me all the way up. Like, listen.
He said some of these questions they asking here, I can't believe that they even, that these are my people.
I was floored with that question. Who was the MVP of the NBA in 1976? I mean, they was just asking dumb shit. I was like, why y'all ask this woman these dumb questions like she ain't educated?
That's what it was, bro.
She kept her poise. That's what it was. She kept her poise.
She kept her poise.
Though, but yeah, go get it. That's what I'm saying.
Go get it.
And let's point to all these young kids now. When I talk to them at work, I'm saying, I can show you a lot, but if you don't have it for yourself, it don't matter how much education you got if you don't put it in action. The simplest thing: respect, honor our grandparents, our mothers and fathers, and so let's respect one another. Let's start there. Go get it like that. Thank you.
Go get it. Go get it.
Have y'all been watching The Winning Time?
Yes.
Yes.
Hit.
What y'all think? So
it's a hit. It's a hit. It's a hit, man.
It's a hit.
Dr. Jerry Buss, I didn't know. I only know the line, but I know a lot of it gotta be true. My man.
Jerry Buss is a boss, bro.
Jerry Buss.
What is it, Buss? Oh, I love Buss.
Bob, you ain't been watching it?
I gotta watch this. I ain't watched the second episode yet. I'm about 2 or 3 behind.
Bro.
I'm about 2 or 3 behind.
I hope Jerry West wasn't crazy like that for real talk.
Hey, I didn't even know that, man. He must have been off.
He threw that trophy out that window. I almost lost it.
Jerry West is a fool.
He threw that trophy out the window. Out the window of his office. I said, man, it can't be this crazy.
But he's extremely respected by all them young dudes in the NBA.
How y'all feel about old boy portraying Magic?
He's doing a good job.
I think he's doing a good job too, man. I never even heard of him before.
I think Cookie a little too dark skinned though.
I didn't know that. Until they said it was Cookie, I was like, that's Cookie. I thought she was light skinned.
Right. Yeah, they could have did a little better. They could have did a little better.
My boy Norm Nixon. My boy Norm Nixon a fool though. Man.
Oh man.
That's my boy.
Hey, that first episode when that fool was in there getting his feet done. He got mad
He's married to Debbie Allen, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, he's married to Debbie Allen. I'm like, damn, he was a fool like that, married to her. He's a fool.
When he got that white coat on, playing pool when they first met, I was like,
and then the last episode. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna get caught up on that, Troy. I've been slacking on that.
I'm going to say something. Kelly ain't up to date on it.
Go ahead. You good?
Nah. I was just thinking about that movie. When we was a kid, we watched it. The Fish That Stole Pittsburgh.
Oh, the fish that saved Pittsburgh.
Saved Pittsburgh. Thank you.
With Dr. J and Meadowlark Lemon. Meadowlark Lemon was in that movie.
Meadowlark.
Remember my boy, the magician on the court? He was like, he couldn't talk. Remember, he was a mute. He couldn't talk, but he'd just wave his hands and have like a flower would come out.
Man.
He'd give it to the cheerleader or the fan. Man, that's a classic movie, bro. Come on, man. If you
so in the winning
don't
time,
get me started on the Fish that Saved Pittsburgh, bro.
Yeah. So Norm Nixon was the last episode. He took Magic to that movie back in, I think that was 79, something like that.
Took it to the movie set.
Yeah, that was So yeah, that's a hit to me. It's a hit. They got the actors in it.
Right.
They got the drama. Magic Johnson, mother and father, the people that got her playing their mother and father. And it just reminds you just how it would be if one of us had a
right. Just even with the mom and dad, like how they were, and I think even
because mom wasn't on him going out to LA.
No.
She wasn't on it.
She already knew what it was.
Yeah, she wasn't on it.
So that was at church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always them church boys that go out there and act the fool.
At the fool. PK kids.
I think he took it. I think he took it a little too far.
He took it a little too far. We know what happened. He took it a little bit too far.
And you best believe they cut out a lot.
We know the outcome of that.
And we know the outcome.
What you saying, Neil?
They cutting out a lot of stuff too, boy. You know, this is LA. This is
80.
Are you shitting me?
They can only do so much.
It'll be X-rated if they put all that.
Even though,
listen,
and you know, HBO,
the first thing blew my mind. The first thing was Bus when it first came on. I said, "What in the heck?"
Oh yeah,
he wake up in the Playboy Mansion.
He woke up in the Playboy Mansion.
Bob, you gotta catch up, bro.
Oh no, I'll get on it.
Y'all gotta watch it.
I'll get it wrapped up. I'll probably get it wrapped up. Was it 4 episodes?
3.
Oh yeah, I get
so
that.
So they come on Sunday at 9:00 on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Hey, Bomani Jones got a show on HBO too. That's pretty good too, y'all. Check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, I just seen that.
I saw that good. Too. Yeah, I'm about to check that out too.
That's good. It come on late as hell. You probably be asleep, but
yeah, I like Bomani Jones. He on the chain.
Yeah, he got a good show on HBO.
Well, fellas, it's time to wrap it up. We chopped it up. So next week we're gonna swing it back to Cyberdog. It's gonna be on you for the schedule and what we're gonna talk about. SportzKelz podcast. We're gonna be live in Minneapolis for the women's Final Four. So we will be going live at 1:00. So make sure you tune in. This has been a hell of a show. We didn't talk about some great topics from the men's tournament, from the women's tournament. Again, give it up, Troy. I'm still so filled off of the Hocking College signing day. That was one of the dopest things we have ever done.
You gotta get some more college under your belt. You couldn't buy that. Yeah, them girls were so excited and happy to.
I mean, you can hear the pen strap. You can hear the pen on the paper. So give it up.
That one. I don't remember what her name was, but I thought she carved her signature at her mom's table.
He did.
Yes, and thank you to Coach DJ and Coach T, head coach Coach T, for just honoring us and blessing us for you to entrust us to actually host. We had a couple of difficulties, but then God smoothed it all out, and it was a dope show. And we just want to say congratulations to the 15 Lady Hawks who are on their way. We will be down there when that season, because that's going to be a banana season.
Yeah, we ought to try to go down there for that opening.
Oh yeah, we're going to be there. Media is going to be there. We're talking about what we need to do to make sure that we're present, and again, give them that, that I guess what I want to say, that extra push, and hey, keep doing what you're doing. Keep blessing. I know some of them are going to be going far away from home, and it's always good to have a village. And we're going to be SportzKelz podcast going to be that village for them girls this year. So I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing, because they're going to be out there balling.
And look like they like they ready to reload again next year. From what you're saying, like they got like other players already calling them to try to get in.
Yeah, there was a couple players that was already calling in, trying to see what was going on. So yeah, I'm excited to see this next year's roster. It's going to be great. Cyber Dog, glad you got to jump on in with us.
Man, it was great. I'm so glad I jumped on and extended the show. How about
we just extended the show? Hey, that's how it's supposed to be. When we do what we want to do, it can be go short or long. So, fellas, next week it's gonna go down. We're gonna get Minneapolis, Minnesota. We touching down Friday. We'll be there about 8:30. The first game is at 6. Second game, the Final Four will be on 9 o'clock on Friday, and then championship is on Sunday, and then the men's is that Monday. So lots of basketball that's gonna be played. Replay it. Hey, you can find us on Facebook, SportzKelz Podcast on Facebook, or SportzKelz Podcast YouTube, as well as you can, again, on Anchor every Tuesday. The new episode drops. Just to put us on your podcast list, put us on your listening list. For all your audibles. Hey, add on SportzKelz Podcast on Anchor FM, Google Play, and iTunes will pick up on Tuesday. So
always smash that like button.
Smash the like button. So have a wonderful weekend, fellas. It's March Madness, baby.
Next week we know who in the Final Four.
Yes, sir. We'll see who got it right and who got it wrong.
Yep.
Houston. All right, next Saturday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Neil, get your Final Four real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. All right, let me take a look here.
Yeah.
All right, so the Final Four, if we're looking at it, one moment. Let me just see who left. Shit, I'm a little behind. So the Big 8 start today, correct?
Correct.
Yep. Well, second half of it, yep.
So the second half of the Big 8 start today. So if I'm looking at it here, hold on, let me pull up my little thing, my bracket, which is horrible. How you guys doing y'all brackets on?
Mine is busted. I'm busted.
What bracket?
All right, so it look like I'm taking Houston. I like Houston. I like Duke, and I like I think North Carolina. Did they pulled that one out against UCLA? Didn't they?
Yeah, they play St. Pete's tomorrow. What you think about that?
So yeah, hey, you know what? I St. Pete's be balling. I might have to go with St. Pete's.
Oh boy!
And and in my fourth team, did Iowa State make it out, or it did?
Nope.
So is Miami?
So Miami's still in it.
Miami's still in it.
Who Miami playing? Let me go with Miami. I'll go with them 4. Miami.
Okay.
Who I say? Miami. St. Pete, and what else I say? I just said it.
The Jeff Noyes sports show said that Duke is going to be a tough out.
Yeah.
Nova and Duke. That's who I'm rolling with. Let's roll. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Okay,
Houston and Duke. Let's get it. Let's go.
Ooh, Houston and Duke.
Yes.
Houston and Duke as the final teams?
Yes. Houston, Duke. I don't know. I just got 4. Houston, Duke, St. Pete, and I said
Miami.
Yep.
All right.
All right, fellas. Thank you once again, always. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all.